Tonight, on 8.5-bit, we go to space twice, shoot some cowboys, and listen to more Not E3. Welcome, friends of all designs, to 8.5-bit. I'm your host, Paul, and joining tonight is my good friend, James.
Hello.
Hello, James. How are you?
I'm going well.
Shut up. The games tonight's intro were... Well, they're all... Well, no. One's actually a new game. One's a new game. Okay, no, so we've got a new game.
Yeah.
Kind of newish, because it just came out of early access game. And old game.
An old game.
So those games were in order. Desperados 3, Deep Rock Galactic, and Titanfall 2. Okay. And then also a bunch of stuff in Faux E3, which is where we live now, where I live almost every day, searching for something to give a shit about.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people trying to get you to give a shit about things.
So many people. Yeah. Actually, I should bring up the list so we can talk about it later. But yes, I did cut you off because I'm a bastard.
That's all right.
How are you
I had
anyway?
nothing important to say. Yeah, pretty well. Just nothing too exciting to report.
Oh, really?
No.
Called Quest news. Not really that excited to talk about on the show.
Yeah.
I have now 10 weeks into my son's life finally taken paternity leave, an entire week of it, because I gotta.
Did you get 2 weeks?
No, I get one. Well, no, I get 1 week through my job, and I can get 2 weeks through government.
Government, yeah.
But that's at minimum wage, which is not very much.
No.
But it's something, and it's just some more time with my family, so I'll still do it. Because I'm not all about the Benjamins, those high-ranking government, those schools are where you get all the money.
Education sector, that's where the big bucks are.
Oh, exactly. Let's not go into that. Just as a thing, what kicked this off, I was going to go into a project we pitched to each other and have not investigated in any way whatsoever. But the origin of which was I was looking at demos on the Oculus Quest with the finger tracking, and somebody had made a sign language program.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Which they were using, I believe, the German sign language alphabet. And it just struck us as, that's a fucking good use for...
Yeah, it's genius.
Because hand tracking sucks. I hate it. Because most applications of it are stupid. It's like, pretend you're picking up this thing, but there's nothing there.
So, when are we going to finally get our good spellcasting game?
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
That uses actual hand gestures for casting.
Because there's so many... Like, there are a bunch of wizard games. I haven't played them all, so I don't know if there's not one that does it. But yeah, so far, there is no... They're all like, just select your spell from the window and push the button.
I really feel like a game which is about doing different hand gestures to cast different spells.
We want some of that magician shit.
Yeah, like that. Like... There's such a high skill ceiling for what that game could be. It's actually... Why doesn't someone make that?
Yeah, and I wonder... Because all such systems...
just like because my brain started running with it.
Okay,
Think of it like... Okay, so think of that kind of like casty game, but Magicka. So it's just about combining elements and attack types in ways that can go terribly, terribly wrong.
I'm still like... Probably every 2 months, I just check Arrowhead, saying when you go. When's the next thing?
Yeah.
It has been a long time. Last year, they were skilling up. They were doing some new hires. I'm like, skilling up for what?
I don't know if skilling up will make their games better.
Oh, I just don't. But it wasn't like a big hire or anything. They just needed like a couple more people there. I don't know.
I don't want them to be too competent with what they do. I want the chaos.
But hey, Helldivers is competent.
It was pretty solid.
Yeah. We can't all just be janky Magicka.
Can't we, Paul? Can't we?
Remember there's that spell that just kills something on the screen? Sometimes it's you. What a powerful spell. Yeah, so just as a general, if you were trying to follow not E3 or Faux 3 or E3 at home or whatever the hell you want to call it, E3 Recap still does its thing. So that's trying to table everything that's going on. Oh, the next event on their schedule is actually in 6 days, so we've got a bit of a break. That'll be after this goes live, actually, because we record on the Wednesday, comes out on Sunday, blah 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 blah. And that's the Marvel's Avengers wall table, and I bet that won't be heavily watched. I'm going to watch it. I'll watch everything. At this point, we have had starting the Xbox event, which let's just strike it out anyway, because it really didn't feel like it. The Wholesome Direct, which we've already had our thoughts on. Indie Live Expo, IGN Expo, which has now been running for it's had 5 days of events or something. Escapers Indie Showcase, the PlayStation 5. We did the last show after PlayStation 5. Shit, we talked about that, right? Guerrilla Collective, PC Gaming Show, Future Games. Guerrilla had a couple more days. Upload VR, EA Play, Summer Game Fest, which was yesterday night, and last night was New Game Plus Expo, which was mostly Japanese games. This site will try to at least pull out all the trailers and everything that it can. Sometimes people don't post them separately. It's like, load up this 2-hour stream and find the trailer you want. Really hard to then communicate someone to go check this out. We also had one which is not listed there, and that's the thing. There's also other events going on that aren't part of even the official, not official thing. And that was Eek 3, which was put on by Spooky PlayStation 1, which I don't...
Yeah, so it was framed in a haunted PlayStation 1 game?
Well, so Haunted PlayStation 1 is a game.
Oh, okay.
It's a collection of indie games that came... I think it came out. Or maybe not. So it had 12 games on it. It was called the Haunted PlayStation 1 Demo Disc 1, I think. But then they've put on their own little show that has taken indie horror games of a similar aesthetic choice and just bunched them all together. And it's an hour-long show.
Yeah, I didn't watch all of it.
It's so good.
It's pretty long.
Some of them are a bit sameish, but I think it's crazy. And let's just talk about Eek 3 for a while, because very funny. I like it. It's got a CGI skeleton.
Yeah.
It might be the slickest presentation so far this year, which for something that is a niche kind of parody thing, well, I suppose we haven't had Devolvers yet, but we'll see.
No, those will be fun. It reminded me of something that Devolver would do.
Yeah, except more games than Devolver normally shows. They just do about 15 minutes of jokes and then quickly show a trailer of 2 games.
We get the next bit of the lore of
we get the story of Devolver E3 conferences.
Because what are they up to? They're up to what's her face was killed, but now is in a RoboCop body.
Well, I thought last time it was in an inside a computer. She'd been killed or something. Anyway, if you've never watched the E3 presentations from Devolver, start at the beginning and you miss out on the story.
There's an arc
throughout this whole thing. I have to go rewatch. Oh, man. Anyway, there's enough of a community making independent horror games of a PS1 generation aesthetic
that they could be
they can put on a show about.
That's what I've been thinking with these like Eek 3 and Wholesome. Honestly, even though it took you a while to get around on Wholesome, I kind of put them as the best presentation so far. What I'm starting to wonder, is this the new thing that happens?
Yeah.
It's now that we've had this thing of whatever the new normal, but it's this idea that it's this time of year when everyone puts together their own conference, or their own collection, and so we can have things like Eek 3, and it's less about the one big thing, and it's more like these little pockets of interesting stuff that just all do it at the same time.
And that's why I kind of think that... So I've said a few times now that I think these two are the best, and the PlayStation 5 one was also very good. But there's so many of these conferences, so many streams, and they're not concise streams like the IGN shit. Holy crap, don't try to watch it live, just find out what's on it and watch it later, because it goes for 5 fucking hours.
We had that EA one.
Yeah. I haven't forgotten, don't get me wrong. It's in the notes. But everyone's doing it, which means everyone needs content, but they won't want it to be hours and hours long. And there's just not enough interesting content. Even today was the New Game Plus one, and there are a few games that, it started with Catherine Full Body coming out on the Switch. I'm like, isn't that just a port of the already existing remaster? And that's how you start your show? And that's not saying the game's bad. Most of the games in all these things are good, but they're kind of just good, and they can't really get above it. Each show might have 1 or 2 highlights, and the rest is just kind of filler. And I'm someone that, well, we're going to get into it. We'll sit down and play dozens of fucking games.
Oh yeah,
we'll get into it.
We'll get to those demos.
But I can't even pay attention to half these streams, and this is like my time. This is the time that Paul, like literally there are 2 times of the year that are like big on Paul's calendar. One is PAX Australia, which has been cancelled, and one is E3, where I get my friends together, we watch streams, and we get all excited about the future of gaming.
Or sometimes James wakes up the next morning and live chats it while he watches it.
But we started doing the Oscar party style thing. Where we're like, okay, let's not watch them at all, and we'll do it the next night with some drinks and everything. Yeah. And so we made big events of them, and it really hyped me up. But I'm not getting hyped by pretty much anything in this stuff, because half of it's games that already exist or are out. Well, I mean, they're out, or are just known quantities, or are just, hey, look, it's an RPG Maker game.
Yeah.
Like, and whilst there's some very good RPG Maker games, I don't need to. When I say that, I don't mean to be just totally disparaging, but I mean there's nothing there that on a trailer view can make you go, wow.
Yeah. Well,
I can't wait to get my hands on
This is
that.
something I was going to touch on a little bit when we get to the demo, so I might as well talk about it now. I've been, from all these things that I've been seeing recently, I kind of feel just like this whole game dev thing. Pack it up.
Time to get out, buddy.
Well, if I was making something which was indie platformer or something roguelike or something card game on Steam, I'd be worried. I'd be super worried, because unless you can make something which is better than...
And much better.
Much better than the level of quality that's out there, just don't waste your time.
So before the show, I was quickly trying to run through, because I don't have a lot of notes, but there's a lot of things... Like, we had to have a lot of content on our own to talk about. But a trailer for Rogue Legacy 2 came out. And... James, what's a game that Paul loves?
Rogue Legacy.
Yeah, I've played fuckloads of Rogue Legacy. I love it. And I could barely even sit through the trailer. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess it looks better.
Yeah. I'm so taken back by the quality of what's there. If I was currently targeting like Steam or something, I'd be legit worried. So it's not like... Remember, like, you used to look at the App Store, right? And it'd be like, oh, the App Store's full of crap. And the problem was... just the noise.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, you got something good, you can make something good. The problem is getting heard and seen. But the problem now is it's not all crap.
No.
It's full of really good things.
So what we've alluded to it a few times. So one of the things that I really like, and I hope they do more of, but I hope it's a little bit more concise in future. So we've been starting having these sort of small Steam game festivals where
I really love
indie
these
developers
things.
Release demos.
Yeah, timed demos. So they don't have to be this thing which is going to hang around for a long time. They self-destruct after
previously, it's been sort of like 20 to 40 games, which is still quite a lot. It runs for a weekend. This time it ran for a week, which is good because they released 900 demos. And I played, I think at last count, about 60.
Yeah, I think I played maybe like 30-ish, or 20, somewhere between 20 and 30.
Yeah, and aside from one or two which were bad games, they're all good. But I hated looking at them because there was so many. I would dismiss them for the smallest reasons.
Oh yeah, like I was just going through just the recommended things, not even the big full list. Just like here are the 100 we recommend. Even that, it's like, oh, title art's not good, whatever. But if you go back and click it, it'd be like, oh, this looks really good.
Yeah, and
so many.
Even just playing the game, sometimes I get to a thing and I'd hit a button and it would just like, it's like, oh, you made the back button the same as open menu or whatever. Fuck this.
Yeah. This is what you're up against now.
It's like the expectations of quality. Like James came on the weekend and we played a bunch of couch multiplayer games, which is quite over. It's not a market that has a lot of money in it, but it's also very oversaturated. Yeah. And most of the games we played were some of the most polished shit we've ever seen. We were like, holy shit, this thing loads of snaps and the tutorial is really intuitive and everything. It looks brilliant. And this will never make any money.
They're going to make about $15
for Paul.
I feel so bad for them.
For my once a year co-op days. It's one really, really good that there's so much good quality stuff out there, but it's also kind of terrifying that there is so much good stuff out there. Movies is a bit that way. People only pay attention to big stuff. They're still in games, but I would say you still don't have... No, you do have hundreds of good movies a year, and we don't see most of them, and that games will probably go that way as well. But I don't know, it feels like I don't know, a good independent game, even though I've made an independent movie and it's hard as fuck, and the movie I made was terrible, I do feel like making games harder.
Yeah, well, I think it's games you can maybe get away more off sweat. I guess like if it's a movie, it's a little... I've never made a movie,
you need more people for one.
My assumption is if you're making a movie, it's hard to do it on like nothing but goodwill and sweat. Like there's money that needs to be spent
at a certain level.
Yeah.
It's hard to just borrow everything.
Yeah, where games
and get access to places and
like games,
and
if
then
you
distribute.
Yeah,
like there aren't really independent film distribution channels.
Where I feel game dev
the same way games are.
You can get like 3-4 people, and with enough time, you can make something really good. So it's like it's more like the barrier for getting it done and really good is lower than a movie, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, I can... Less people can make a really fucking amazing game, where it's very rare for a team of, say, 3 people to make an amazing movie.
Yeah.
But there are games we played that were just... For what they were doing, the best AAA studios in the world couldn't do better. Because they nailed what they were trying to do exactly. I'm like, well, fuck, what else do we do? So we'll dive a bit more into those later, I think. Back to Naughty 3. So, EA Play. So EA was sort of one of the only big like traditional publisher conferences that we had announced, and everyone was kind of hyped for it.
Yeah,
it was probably like
well, they did the little Squadrons teaser leading up to it.
Well, no, they didn't. So, well, they did, but it wasn't a teaser to lead you up to it. So, Star Wars Squadrons was leaked a few days ahead of the event. So they thought, well, we'll get on top of it and we'll release the cinematic trailer and just, and we're all thinking like, oh, okay, this looks pretty good. And, this is like, a medium-sized project. Can't wait to see what like their big reveals are. So the big reveal was Star Wars Squadrons.
Squadron, yes. Yep.
It was a terribly put together presentation.
That was majority filler.
A lot of filler. Like they had a long section on The Sims, and The Sims is a huge hitter for EA. Don't get me wrong. Sims deserves time, but they didn't use that time to announce a roadmap or new packs or Sims 5 or anything like that. They basically just used it to have sort of goodwill community talking about how
inclusivity and
and while that's a good message to get out, I'm very happy people feel that way. I mean, it still just feels like marketing to me, so I don't get too teary over it.
Yeah, but it's nice.
It's nice. Literally nothing.
That's the point of it. Like, I mean, I guess apart from that, they were like, oh, and it's coming to Steam.
The Sims finally on PC.
Yeah. That'd be what, like 5 minutes? Or 10 minutes? Or it felt long.
I think it was maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, of the whole thing dedicated to
just
that.
to announce that Sims was coming to PC.
And so much...
Which is already on, but just not on Steam.
Yeah, and so much of what they do, I like the little segment of finish, and I was like, well, what was I...
What did I get out of that?
What did I get out of that? Like, what was the point?
Near the end, they had a whole section dedicated to their teams working on the next generation. And it was literally a bunch of shots of prototypes.
Yeah. But it had stuff which I assume was New Dragon Age.
Could be.
Maybe. I don't know. But...
You can't derive anything from it. It's like, it exists. Well, we know it exists.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed watching the Squadrons section.
Yeah, so the Squadrons section is really good. So not to come off entirely negative, and there are a few other highlights. So Squadrons, new flight game, Star Wars, EA. But it's a 5v5 dogfighting game. But it also still has a single player.
Yeah, where you're like alternating between...
Each mission goes, you've got a Rebel pilot, you've got an Empire pilot.
I mean, I prefer if I could just play Empire, but I'll go Rebel every now and then.
And as long as they don't make the Empire turn Rebel, that's fine.
I hope they don't do that.
Hope they don't do that. Hope they learn from the old stories that they do that. It seems to take some cues from the old X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter series.
I thought it was very reassuring when the person they were talking to was bringing out pictures that they drew as like an 8-year-old of TIE Fighter, X-Wing and TIE Fighter cockpits from the game.
And they put a little bit of focus on the fact that you can divert power between systems.
Yeah, so I think it was the things were divert power I saw. It looked like you could disable assists. So that just means turning off the jet fighter model and to go full Newtonian. So flick the ship around and
And they had a few shots where people were doing that sort of flying.
Yeah. So that was good to see. So this is me as someone who really likes space games. Like, I could see the things. I'm like, I like that mechanic. And then, like, all the customization. I'm like, cool. So you can try different loadouts and things. With the multiplayer, how they were making it so it's kind of role-based. It's like support ships and, like, bombers and things. Like, oh, okay, this is cool.
And the structure is very Battlefield-y, where it's you start in a neutral zone, and whoever wins that, you move to fight
pushes
some
it
ships,
forward,
and then if they win that, they go on to fight a capital ship. And the other people are defending, and get that Nidhogg back and forth. And Nidhogg should be the reference of all people talking about that.
And that stuff I all thought was good and exciting. Now it's a full VR support through the entire game.
Yes.
Which was pretty cool to hear.
Which, the thing is, the fact that they've obviously designed that from the ground up with that, which means you have to make certain choices when you're developing, which means it should be pretty good VR.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think I already have some people that are like, can I come to your friend's house and play on VR with his HOTAS?
HOTAS support. That was the other thing they've got coming.
So I don't think it's going to be a hardcore sim, but I think it's probably going to be that middle ground. The really X-Wing and TIE Fighter games were...
No, they always were a bit arcadey.
Yeah. They're not... I mean, they're still a Star Wars game. They're not a hardcore military sim.
Like, at least from what they've said so far, it looks like the game that's been wanted for a while.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was the good thing. Yeah, the other thing... no, there are other good things. They had new game by... God, I made fun of them multiple times this week for making lots of games, even though they don't really.
Oh,
yeah. Stick it to the man, Dev.
I can't remember.
Why could I not remember?
Yeah. Just the same.
Anyway, they announced a new game, Lost in Random. It looks like the highest production game they've made so far. It's full 3D exploration, character platformer action game, and you've got a friend called Dicey.
He's pretty cute.
And he's a big dice.
Yep.
He rolls right.
Your little dice friend.
They didn't show a lot of the game, but at least they showed some. It looks very cool. It's next gen stuff, so we should be seeing that next year.
There was Rocket something. Rocket Arena.
Yeah. Because we know Rocket Arena.
Yeah.
So they decided to take a classic game name and make a new game that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, just call it Rocket Fight or something.
Yeah.
Or Punch Out with guns. Oh no, I mean Smash Bros with guns.
Well, that's what they. So that one looks like it's rocket launcher arena shooter, which looks like it had more Smash mechanics of like knocking people out.
You knock people out as you get more damage. You get knocked further.
Which I'm happy for them to try something. Put that
I don't love the look of it, but also I do get slightly annoyed at it being called Rocket Arena.
Oh, see, no,
it's like,
the
why?
name. Like, it's a pretty generic name, or whatever.
Well, it's not a generic name. It's like a classic. Like it's called Rocket Arena for that very reason.
Oh, so I didn't realize they were trying to.
Yeah, it's like if someone made Dota 2 and it was just a third-person action game.
Okay, I didn't actually realize. I just thought they just called it the same thing.
No, it's literally supposed to be in the spirit of Rocket Arena. It's like, this doesn't play anything like Rocket Arena.
Well, okay. Ignoring that, it looks like a fine arena shooter with Smash mechanics.
But we already had that Sky one. Remember the sort of cowboy-themed one?
Oh, yeah, Skyhook?
Skyhook.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. Like, it's like that, except that game already exists.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what else?
So they had the new game by our friend that made A Way Out and Brothers, and it was the weirdest thing.
Oh,
because they got up as if he was like the savior of Sweden. It's like I'd done so much for Sweden. It's like, what? You made a couple of bad movies and one good game and one really terrible game.
What I took out of that was that if you're ever looking to form a company with someone,
you get someone,
and you can find that person, you go with them.
I've met so many people like that in my life, and normally they are getting terrible projects greenlit because they're just charismatic.
Yes.
And I mean, like, okay, when I'm saying A Way Out is terrible, A Way Out had lots of really cool things in it. The writing was done by a chimp. It was the stupidest story I've read in my life. I'm including Spot Goes to the Beach. I mean, at least that was consistent. But it made no sense in any level whatsoever. I suppose the film The Snowman, the one where they forgot to film some of the script, maybe that made less sense. But it was so much... But also, I think they've invested him in a multi-game deal and stuff, and they really want to hype him up as a creator. Like, man, you're striking 1 for 2 so far. And...
but charismatic as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, those people have never worked on me.
Yeah. Well, no, but you didn't have money.
No, I'm poor as fuck. It doesn't matter. I don't matter.
When I say charismatic as fuck, I mean to the people who have money.
Yes, that's on me.
No, we do not have money, Paul.
Maybe we'll find some on the street. Look at me. I'm a rich man. One art, please. I've bought art before. Don't patronize me. Anyway, and then so that I can't remember what that game was called. There was no gameplay footage. There was some stills. There was a lot of announcements that just had a bit of concept art. Like, did you guys put this together last? Like, it was due. And oh yeah, I'll get it to you. Like, oh shit, and then quickly threw something together.
It felt like they were really stretching to try and find stuff to put in. And then
they had one more thing before we leave. Okay, here comes the big thing. Is it going to be a new Dragon Age? Is it going to be something new? Is it, there's a few things that are noddling around apparently at EA. The skaters, I didn't know who they were because I don't really know skaters. Oh, we're here to tell you, Skate's back.
Skate's happening. Skate's
forever. Just wait, did they say Skate 4? No, apparently they don't actually say the word Skate 4, but I believe it is called Skate 4. They announced Skate 4. Now, they did not show or say anything about it because as far as I'm concerned, they greenlit it the day before they filmed it.
It feels that way. It's like
they said, we need something. What are we getting attacked on Twitter hashtags for? Better say Skate 4. Now, it seems insane to me because there's a lot of goodwill attached to Skate 4. It's been a campaign. People be wanting it. It's like when people Operation Rainfall when they're trying to get Xenoblade over to the US and stuff. Real community driven. Now, there's a reason they didn't make the Skate 4. It didn't sell very much. It is a passionate but niche community. Therefore, lying your giant multinational company's big announcement of the year thing on the tiny niche game that failed but has goodwill seems strange to me. Be a fantastic mid conference reveal to me.
Yeah, because they really, when they were kind of leading up to it, it's like, oh, okay, finally, like this is going to be the bit. This is the reason I've been watching for the last 45 minutes.
Or if they had something to show and they showed something amazing.
Yeah. It was Skate. By the way, here's what it's going to look like. But no
details. I don't think there's a developer listed. I don't think there's anything.
A couple of skaters saying skateboards happening.
Making it. It's going to be there. Expect it in a few years. Yeah. And it'll be better than the Tony Hawk remakes, we promise. Although the actual remake, not the HD. I was thinking of the HD ones. Hopefully the new Tony Hawk remake is good.
Hopefully.
Okay, so EA just took the wind out of a lot of people's sails, I think.
Yeah, it's just there wasn't anything sort of offensive in there. It was just it felt like it kind of wasted my time.
Yeah, and that's having E3 over 3 months instead of 1 week. You got to stretch out the con. Yeah. The thing is, EA probably is going to show something. They're probably attached to showing something at Microsoft.
That's probably where their big thing's going to be. You're probably right.
But that's not going to happen until next month sometime. Yeah. I think it's next month. I'm just this is all so messy.
Yeah.
I know. Because normally you'd have that thing, like Assassin's Creed almost did it, where you do one conference has the tease and go and come back to Sony tomorrow and we'll show you the full load. Oh my God, yeah. Now it's we can't even tease it because you'll forget by the time it comes out. So good luck to you. So Nintendo's been doing their own thing, which just involves releasing things when they feel like it. So they had a big Pokemon Direct.
With their toothbrushing game.
Yes, there's a toothbrushing game which I have not played.
I haven't played it either.
Our friend Callum has played it.
Oh yes.
Apparently he didn't get the top marks. So it's an AR toothbrushing thing. I didn't really pay attention. They were also detailing the expansion pack that came out. Again, see, Sam's not here. Have you been paying attention, James?
No, I don't pay attention to Pokemon.
Oh, don't you? You at least know a little bit.
No, I'm not not for any of the DLC.
Yeah, but I mean, okay. No one's going to give a shit.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Sam, let's channel him.
All right, okay.
There's a new Pokemon called Smalroth. He's got a PK meter. There's a PK.
It's a PK meter. I don't know.
Sorry, is that Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't.
Pokemon's happening.
Yeah, that's it. But then they had one reveal at the end, which was that there is a new Pokemon Snap on the way. Another, although apparently Pokemon Snap did end up eventually selling reasonably, but another super niche campaign sort of game to get out there. But also,
I think it'll do. I think
it was perfect to put where they put it there. Because it is from left field and everything. No details yet. We can start extrapolating it. It potentially looks a little bit sad that it looks like it might be just like the original, but also there hasn't been one since N64.
I mean, I'm assuming it's going to use the gyros so you can use it like a camera. And I mean, I was kind of hoping that we'd have Labo VR support, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Actually, that's that's not out of the question.
Yeah, like that would make
I
sense
reckon
to me.
Because I mean they hacked it into other games
Yeah.
that really wasn't appropriate.
Yeah, like it would make a lot
At
of
least it's
sense in this
appropriate
one.
We have yet to see more. I was thinking that I just have all these ideas that would make it a more interesting game, but I don't know if that's what they're interested in
No,
doing.
it's going to be taking pictures of the Pokemons.
Oh no, that's what I want. I want more, like more control over it. I want to like be able to like scrub the timeline or have it like an open world where it's like, you remember like setting up some of the photos in Beyond Good and Evil and stuff like that. Like I want either more photography or more. I don't want to have to just go around the same loop multiple times because I missed a photo.
Yeah.
So that doesn't sound compelling to me.
Yeah.
But also, I am not the Pokemon target demographic. And Paul's opinion doesn't matter in these things.
Yeah.
If it's good and it isn't too, Paul will buy it because he's a whore, but he's not the target demographic. And then they had one more direct, which was Smash Brothers, announcing the Arms Fighter, which they announced a while ago, and they chose Min Min
from Arms.
I mean, yeah, that's why we said the Arms. Yes, the Arms Fighter is from Arms, James. Look at the big brain on Brad.
Tired.
Who's the ramen themed girl?
Yes.
It's one of those things. I had no horse in the race, and
which fighter to pick?
I think I would have been fine with any of them.
Yeah.
I like all the character designs in Arms.
And I actually was a little surprised that they still have, like, I thought they were done. I thought they were doing the Nintendo thing where it's like we've had all of our Smash Bros.
No,
DLC.
they've got a long time.
Yeah.
Like, they did the new pass. So they did the original pass, which that finished off with the Final Fight person, I think. But yeah, they've got a whole new pass going now. So they're going to be doing that into 2021, I think it's announced too. But I just love how much attention they put into every new character, because sometimes it's like an entirely different game.
Yeah, well, looking at the mechanics where you've got they changed it so is that the smash button is now the other arm. Yeah. So it's like you hit, like I say, A for left or B for right or whichever order.
Yeah, so you've got independent arm control. Yeah. Which also means you can shoot one arm out in front of you and the other one out behind you if you use the stick that way. It's like, no other character does things like that.
She looks hard.
She looks like she might be high skill ceiling, but also, because Smash is somewhat accessible with that, it's probably not that hard to get a hold of once you start playing with her. You can change one of the arms. One of them's always the dragon. But yeah, it's I'm just constantly impressed with how they integrate the ideas. Probably when they were doing like the Dragon Quest hero, and like you have straight up, you go into the menu. And like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's just really endlessly creative. It's I mean, God, I don't play it enough to bother buying all these new fighters, but I can't help myself.
Like, is the community still going with it? Lots of people still playing it now?
Yeah, it's big. But I mean, since Melee, it's the biggest.
Yeah.
Because Melee still has those, it's CS 1.6.
Yeah.
It's just those. There's a certain generation that's never going to move on from Melee, because it is their game, and they will play it till the day they die.
They've done well.
Yeah,
if I could enjoy one game my whole life, that sounds like it'll.
I am somewhat jealous of people that can have that kind of very directed obsession with something, because it saves money. And you really get into something, and if you can find other like-minded people, you can share that. Whereas we're playing everything, and you just you've got to play this. You're like, not really interested.
Because every now and then,
in and out.
Every now and then, I'll do it to a game where, like, in Destiny 2 was probably the one I really noticed I did it, where I was the person who just played it and played it and played it and played it until I got good, and then I kind of realized the cost of like of to getting to the point where I felt like I was competent was like the 200 hours.
Is that
prior
when you decided
to
to start learning another language?
No, that came after. Actually, probably was maybe around then. It was.
I could be using this time far more productively.
That is actually legitimately what motivates me to do. It's the same with the drawing as well. It's like I'll think back to like Assassin's Creed Odyssey at the the 100 hours or
that
so.
This should be on the box. It's just like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It'll inspire you to spend your time more wisely.
Because to put it into context, like right now I'm almost up to the year mark with my Spanish learning, and I do about half an hour a day, which means that I've only put in about 160-ish odd hours into the whole thing, which is still less than I put into Destiny. Yeah, and so when I think about and I see the progress I've made over that time, and when I think, well, what if I spent that time differently, yeah. So there's a little bit of that when I do see the massive amount of time. But I guess if you're someone who is taking what I find satisfying about language learning and applying that to a single game, like a Smash or whatever, oh, sure. Like, I guess like it's a similar thing. They've decided to go, I want to be really good at this one thing because that's the outcome is valuable to them.
I guess maybe, let's try to work out some psychology of Paul here for a second. Maybe I know I'll never be that good, so why bother?
Maybe. I think with the language learning, I'll never speak fluently, but if I can get to a point, and I'm already kind of there. Like if I have like a article, let's say a gaming article, or a Facebook post written in Spanish, I'm normally like 80% of the time I can kind of go, oh yeah, I kind of see what this person's saying.
That's what I like about German. You don't even have to learn it. I can still read some basic articles.
Well, Spanish is like that.
It's got enough nouns.
Yeah. There's a lot of crossover between English and Spanish. But yeah, I mean, if you're someone who's like wants that feeling of like just even being mildly competent at a game, you don't really care about being to go back to the Bens of the world. For those who remember, like you don't focus being on the best. It's just like I'm be competent at it.
God, no, I can't tell Ben stories.
It's too far now.
Too far away. Most people don't even have never seen him.
It's a shame. It's a shame all the people missing out.
We need Ben back. He was Carl Pilkington. He was amazing.
He was good times.
I mean, I guess I can see why he left.
Oh yeah.
Life and also the fact that he was basically
spoken down to the whole time. Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Yeah. But it was good fun for us. Good old Ben. Anyway, so that was Nintendo stuff. Okay, let's talk about a video game. I'm going to start with a newer one, even though that's not the one I've been playing the most. In fact, I've only played a demo. That's a sneak peek for the future. Okay, so I was listening to another podcast, as I often do.
Quick talk about it for a while.
And they were talking about Desperados. Have you listened to Creighton Crowbar? It's very good. They were talking about Desperados 3. And they're all saying, oh, it's how wonderful it was. I'm like, really? I wasn't expecting. I was expecting it to be like good, but by the numbers. I hadn't really looked at it. But the things they were saying sounded like really cool. Okay. So I used to play Commandos and Desperados and everything back in the day. But now that day is like 20 years ago. Like, do I have place in my heart for a game like this? So if you don't know Desperados, they are top-down, real-time tactical games where, in this case, you're cowboys.
Yeah, it's kind of almost like a character-based RTS, kind of.
Yeah.
So it's basically a MOBA.
Yeah, and it's a little, kinda, in some ways. So I downloaded the demo, which is available, and I'll encourage anyone that finds this interesting to do the same, because it's a reasonably sized demo. It's got the tutorial, it's got the first 2 levels after that. And while there's like one of the base achievements is beat this in 5 minutes, I did not beat it in 5 minutes, just because I was playing around. So here's where this game embraces the PC and is just very smart. So the second thing you learn in the tutorial after move is quick save.
Okay.
And it keeps telling you to quick save. And if you don't quick save for over a minute, literally a pop-up comes up on screen that's counting up the time. It's been a minute since you quick saved.
Okay.
It does not treat quick saving as if that is cheating, which most games kind of do. It's like, well, there are achievements for getting 2 levels without saving. It is straight up saying to you, no, try shit. Get in there. It's like, you have a quick save.
Really interesting.
You should be doing this regularly.
Because back when you used to like playing Commandos and things like that, and I never really got into them. And part of that was I just found them kind of frustrating. Yeah. Because you'd play through a mission, fuck it up, and then it's like, oh, well, now I've got to start the thing again. If they've just embraced that idea of save scumming, I don't know, I might like it a lot more.
Literally in the UI, like, so they've got obviously the hotkeys, and it comes up. At the top, there's just like menu, quick save, quick load. Like those are just the 3 buttons at the top of the screen. I think you might even be able to take them away if you don't want to see them, but they keep hammering into you. Like the first mission also has a bunch of tutorialization in it. Again, you'll just like get up to a bit and just on the ground it just says quick save. Not quick saving for you. It's reminding you to quick save. Hey, it's been a while since you quick saved. Do it again. You're about to engage with some people. Why not a quick save beforehand? Because you might fuck it up. So that's really good. It looks really attractive. It's got that old idea of this isometric look down, but it's totally 3D these days. It looks really nice. The animation's really nice. Even in conversations, people are more animated than generally, because generally they just stand next to each other and there's like little talking heads or something. Now they tend to actually emote and good stuff like that. And one of the really cool things is at the end of a level, it does a zoom out map of the whole level, and then it shows your line. Moving through the level, showing every kill you've done, how you did it.
I was kind of wondering if they do the kind of playback, like from your non-quick saved kind of path.
And even though you're quick saving, quick loading, the way they've structured how they're actually saving in the background knows that you've quick saved and quick loaded and how many times, and you can get oh, you actually went on this tangent and that fucked up, and then so it can branch out a little bit and stuff like that. It's really intelligent. That's cool. It's at least the beginning of the game, I found it very charming and funny. It's like the first character you meet, this well, he's a doctor, but he's got it's not a sniper rifle, but it's effectively a sniper rifle. He's very funny. I enjoyed his character quite a lot. But it really just became like, because it had this shift in how it approached it. Yeah. In embracing the save scumming. It really took out the tension of fucking this up.
I'm now much more interested in checking it out. Yeah. Because the reason I hadn't was because I just thought back, Commandos, frustrating, I hated it.
It's a bit daunting.
Yeah.
It's like especially those maps can be very big. And it's like, okay, well, we get in there and things go wrong. And you can roll back a couple of quick saves too if you go to the menu, so it does remember. But it seemed just like such a fundamental shift in... It's not even how you play the game, because you could always play the games like that, but it just didn't feel right. Yeah. Now it's embraced in the actual design of the game, and that's pretty cool. Hey, and it's all keyboard shortcuts driven. Like you learn that shit really fast. So like right click to change characters. I'm like, but I bet I could just hit 1 and 2, right? And then, of course it does, because it's a PC game that works. So everything works the way it should. It's very attractive to look at. It plays very easily. And as they say, that focus on the saving thing that they were talking about, which I haven't even checked now, I've sold you on. Like, it is such a fundamental shift in just... And also, it's very happy to then just go, hey, was that too hard, too easy? Turn it up or down. You don't care.
Do they have any kind of, like, sequencing things where you could say, like, wait for this other person to do something?
They certainly do, James. Good, yeah. They have a button, and if you're playing on, like, hardcore mode, it still works, but it doesn't pause time. So in every other mode, you hit shift and it pauses time. And you can queue up an action for all your characters, and then you can hit enter to execute it. Or it does have individual execute buttons for all the characters. So you can say you go, and now you go. Yeah. And sometimes you can actually, if a character they might have simultaneous actions. So your main character, for instance, has 2 guns. So you can actually aim both at once. You're like, okay, I want to shoot 2 people at the same time. Mark them, enter, done.
It sounds pretty good.
It's just one of those things. It feels like these old things, but without the frustration that kept me from wanting to go back. Because they didn't feel frustrating back then, because we were young, we had time to spare. But game design's changed so much. Yeah. I'm like, I want to... If I go back to it, I feel like I'll tarnish my memories. But this doesn't really save it. So this is the same team that did that Shadow Tactics game.
Okay, did it have similar things?
I don't know.
Yeah, now I want to know.
I have a copy of it.
Because I didn't.
And I didn't play it for the very reason.
I looked at it and went, that looks like a game Paul would have liked about 20 years ago.
It looks, so now I better go back and give that a shot.
This might all be old.
These guys might have just been doing their own shit, and I haven't paid attention. So I just thought, getting out that thing, I'm like, man. And I'd say, a substantial demo on Steam. Yeah. So you got nothing to hurt trying it on that. Speaking of which, should we start talking about a couple of demos we played?
We got a few demos, just a few.
So I cut mine down to a top 20, but it's not even top. It's just ones that I want to talk about in some way. We're just going to be kind of random. We might skip sort of the co-op stuff for now. We might come back into that. So there was a... I'm going to start with a big one. So Obsidian's new game, Grounded. It got a demo up there, which is kind of a surprise. So, wow, this is a big game. It's a survival RPG. I suppose just survival. I suppose it must be RPG.
There's crafting and stuff in it.
There's crafting and stuff to it. Where you are Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I like how you turn that into a noun. Or into a verb, sorry.
You are a person that's been shrunk in a backyard. And I loaded it up and I had mixed thoughts on it. I think the world they've created is really, really cool. Exploring this backyard is super high grass, and at first, because it was grass in a video game, I assumed it was intangible. Except you're a tiny thing and grass is important. So you can jump from piece of grass to piece of grass and climb up them, and it's a very physical world. And also in that physical world, they have a lot of insects and other small animals.
I tried to fight a ladybug. It didn't go well.
After I crafted some weapons, I decided I'm going to go get a ladybug now. They're very heavily armored. It just chased me for a while. No, the ladybug's trying to get so it really feels alive when you look around. One basic thing I do not like about the look is they've got a very, very heavy depth of field. So you climb up to a high depth point and you try to look out and you can only see 100 meters away from you because then everything turns to a massive blur. I'm like, that's not how fucking eyes work. That's not how depth of field works. Please turn on. That's why I'm like, I'm only going to get it on PC because I'm sure someone's going to patch out the fucking depth of field and the game's going to look 100 times better because that's not how vision works, motherfuckers. What I didn't like so much in the game, it felt very directionless, and the world had a lot of interesting things in it, but it actually didn't feel like a backyard at all. It had too much stuff too close together. I suppose if it was like a hoarder's yard, maybe that makes sense. But it's just like there's just shit everywhere. Yeah. It's like the scale doesn't feel quite right. And it really comes down to, I think, if this game was Outer Wilds in a backyard, I'd be like...
But you leave like many things to be Outer Wilds.
Yeah. But it means like the survival aspects of it seemed like the biggest drag. I wanted to explore the areas and everything, not... Oh, I've got to go find a thing and get more charges for my research station so that I can put in more items to get them researched so I can get more craftable items on this. Like, it's a loop, but it's also a static world that's pre-built. And so normally survival stuff works because there's sort of a randomization of the world. But unless there's something I missed, the world's not randomized. It's a prefabbed world. So it ends up becoming like, okay, well, where do you get these elements from? And you just look at the guide. And I just imagine it's going to be Wikipedia going through the checklist at the end to get to the story, which will hopefully be the actual good bit. And I suppose it's a way of gating and stuff like that. But the crafting felt weird to me.
Yeah.
I did like that I could craft without making a crafting station or anything. It's like, make a spear. This is good. But I do love the world. Like,
Well, you love anything with scale.
I love scale. Like, you go up to this tree and there's literally giant dewdrops running down the leaves and falling into the other ones, and they're reacting. And you run up. That's the best source of water. It's the cleanest water, the dewdrops. Run up and drink it. If you drink from the dirty puzzles, it's like, I think they say you get cholera or something. I'd like to see more about the loop, because if you just, in the demo, you just die and respawn when it starts.
Yeah.
You run back and get your gear. There's not really a penalty for it other than being annoyed. I guess I just want to see what the shape of the full game, because I love the world. I really love the world, even if I feel the placement stuff is a bit weird. But they're also doing that for game reasons. Yeah. You don't want to have to walk through
it makes you think almost like a little bit Skyrim, where if they're trying to make it artificially small. Yeah. Just for the sake of practicality.
Yes. But, yeah, did you have any other thoughts on it?
No, I only actually played a tiny bit of it. So.
Yeah. It was a time limit. It was 30 minutes.
Yeah. And I kind of see what you're saying with the crafting stuff. Like, it did feel like I loaded it up and it's more like, oh, okay, I guess that's there. Like, that wasn't what I was interested in kind of pursuing through it.
Yeah, I mean, I know I am biased to wanting exploration-based games where you're discovering cool little stories and stuff and just platforming around the world sometimes. Also, it feels weird when they've got a lot of glass elements in the game. You don't seem to be able to break glass. Seems like that might be... Like, it needs a little bit more simulation in it or something. I don't know. That's me being very, very picky, I know. But yeah, it's like some stuff's really interactive and some stuff's super static. I'm like, and I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably looking forward to it more now that I've played it a little bit, but I still wanting to see more. But on scale and bugs, I also played a demo for a game called the Metamorphosis, as in Friedrich Nietzsche's. And you wake up and you had a hard night and you're at your friend's place and you start trying to leave and the hallway looks a bit different and you go back into the same room and it's a bit
different,
bigger and you're a bit smaller and it keeps going a bit until you're a bug. And then you're in the same room that you started in, basically.
But you're tiny?
A bit messed up, but you're a little bug. This is based very loosely on Friedrich Nietzsche's. It is Nietzsche, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, yes. So you are now an insect. You have morphed into such a thing. It is the Metamorphosis, and you get to climb around the world. And the thing that sucks about this demo is you get into that first room where you're a bug, and that first room is the end of the demo. So what it really came down to was like, so there's a narrative story. It's basically a walking sim, but with lots of platforming in it. Because you're a bug, you can climb on the surfaces, get your feet sticky, you can go up vertical surfaces, but you're climbing around arms of chairs and junk and trying to get up. And this is all it needed to do at the moment. Movement works really well.
Is it first person?
First person.
Yeah.
I didn't fall off anything. You see your little legs like going tick around you. It's quite immersive. It's very attractive. And I'm like, okay, great. I'm sold. I want to play more. I wish you'd give me a little bit more of the demo because I wanted to get into the story. Because all I've done is turn into a bug so far, and then I got teleported away into a magical surreal world, and I didn't get to see the magical surreal world.
So the demo worked.
The demo worked for me, yeah. But admittedly, I was already sold on the trailer.
Yeah.
But the mechanics of moving as a bug was the important thing, so that was cool. Okay, I'll send the list over to you, James, so you can remember some of the things you played also. Because there was a lot.
There was a lot. I checked a little bit of Drone Swarm.
Oh yeah, what were your thoughts on it?
I felt a bit like they were messing around with a tech demo and then decided they need to turn it into a game.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it felt. So the basic idea is that you control, you're in space and you've got like this swarm of drones.
It's Homeworld, but you've got drones.
Yeah, and the main interactions you can do is basically direct these. You can spend the drones to do certain things. So you can spend them to form a wall. To stop incoming fire, or you can send them out to move through enemies to attack them, that kind of thing. And
it probably would work better on a touchscreen.
Yes, I agree. It probably would work better on a touchscreen.
Because you draw the lines.
Yeah. And there's an element of timing where like the drones take a while to go out and they'll kind of come in. And I don't know. Like it was okay, but it felt that they started with the tech.
I didn't know if there was something I was missing, but did you finish the demo?
No.
So later on in the demo, you're fighting these bigger ships, and they've got shields, but there's always a hole in the shield, so you direct the ships through that. But I just have killed everything else, have a wall up so those ships aren't doing any damage to me, and I'm just like directing drone after drone after drone, like just keep going in. This is taking like 3 minutes just to kill this ship. I don't know if I'm missing something because there's nothing else. I don't have a lot of verbs. I've got 4 abilities with my 3 abilities with my drones.
I think the problem that I had was that it was not particularly satisfying. And I'm trying to compare it to other games where I send out some other proxy to do something for me, and like I don't know, like maybe Pikmin or something like that, where it's something like Pikmin or what's the other one? Overlord or whatever. There's still something I found inherently satisfying about seeing them go out, seeing them do their little thing.
The shit out of something.
But yeah, beating the shit out of something, bringing me back. Like that interaction itself was satisfying. I never really felt that level of engagement from going, okay, drones, go out. And I see the little swarm go. And it's like, okay, and this comes back. And I don't know, like it just didn't... I'm just trying to think, like, why is it that I find Pikmin satisfying, but...
Because this game wasn't new to me. This is already on my, like, watch list.
Yeah.
Because it looked fucking cool the way those swarms move.
The tech is really cool.
Yeah. And then I played it and I'm like, this is very boring.
Yeah.
It just didn't sell me on why this was interesting to do.
Yeah. I think it's just, like, the core interaction and setting off was not particularly satisfying. It's more like, they managed to rip through the thing and destroy it. I guess that's okay.
Yeah, but there was nothing that felt substantial about it.
Yeah, and I do wonder if it was like juiced up and it's like I feel like these little things like dashing in and out and I can see the metal being ripped apart and
if it either needed to be more puzzly / strategic, so requiring more finesse, or be more of an action game.
Yeah, maybe it's the core fantasy of me controlling drones didn't really feel like it was. It didn't feel satisfying. It didn't feel like it was hitting for me.
Yeah.
So I think if they juiced up the actual that fantasy of like I'm controlling a drone swarm, like say if it was touch and maybe the drones they were closer to my finger and I could see the swarm following my finger or something, and the metal was getting ripped apart and there's all these cool particle explosions and like fuck yeah, I'm the swarm. But I am the swarm. But I didn't get that from it at all.
So speaking of Pikmin rip-offs. is a game. I don't know why I decided not to mention it, but I'm mentioning it now. Raise the Dead finally has a demo. Finally, I mean, because I kickstarted this fucking thing like 5 years ago. It was supposed to be like... It was supposed to be released on the PS4 like 4 years ago.
I feel like we need to do a show sometime, which is just the Where Are They Now?
Where are my Kickstarters?
Where we go back through our Kickstarters and go, where are those Kickstarters?
So Raise the Dead is a Pikmin with zombies. And Ray is a zombie, and that's you, and you get to raise your army of zombies and send them out to eat people's brains. And it's really weird because the first half of that demo was just you alone.
I feel like there should be more zombies involved.
It's like, oh, this is like a bad like action game where I could just have one basic swipe attack and I'm fighting some weird monk things rolling around. And once you pass that, you get the zombies. Like, oh, this is more what I was expecting now. And it is. The problem is, it does deliver on exactly what it is, but it delivered on what it exactly was
5 years ago?
Yeah, half a decade ago, which I feel like we've moved on a bit from.
Yeah.
It's still like, I can't think of another game that has zombies in Pikmin, so it has that, but everything else felt very traditional. And that's why I sort of didn't bring it up. Like, I mean, I've still got a free copy. Well, not free copy. I've still got a copy I bought years ago coming to me.
Yeah, but that money is long forgotten.
It's long forgotten.
Hence free.
Hence, if I don't remember spending it, it's free, right? Okay, so other games. So Paradise Killer was a game I found really interesting. See, what was kind of cool about this, with all these demos, a lot of these games were not necessarily announced, but maybe given their first major exposure during FOE3 and some of the indie streams. So a lot of the games I ended up playing were games that I had already highlighted and like shared trailers for. So this is one of those, which I characterized as Danganronpa on an island of gods, and it's first-person exploration.
Yeah.
And it pretty much is that. It's got a really... Let's call it a 90s CGI sensibility to the world design.
Can I try to explain it? You can tell me if I'm right.
You can try... Oh, you like the story?
Yeah, like the premise. You can tell me if I'm right or not.
I mean, being me, I did skip some of it. I do know the gist.
So as I understand it,
it
is... there's a bunch of gods that have been trying to make paradise.
Or god-style beings of some sort.
Yeah, some kind of entities that have been trying to make paradise. And they can't get it right.
Yes.
And they've done it now like about 23 something odd times. 24 times.
They're just on the 24th, and they were just starting the 25th.
Yeah, and what happens every time is demons somehow, whatever, get in, and everything goes to shit, and they have to slaughter everyone in paradise and reboot the thing and start again.
Yeah, they go, we fucked up. Let's kill all the people and try again.
And you're playing someone who is Lady Love Lost, something.
I can't remember.
Something like that. Who is an investigator who has been exiled.
Yes, you've been exiled for
3 million days or something like that. And you were exiled for reasons I can't remember.
So sort of collaboration with demon stuff sort of thing.
Yeah. Is that the plot?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And the instigating event, so there's a council that runs these attempted paradises. And you are brought back out of exile to investigate because someone has murdered the council.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
How has this happened?
How's it happened and what's going on in this weird, crazy world of weird god creatures and surreal island?
Yeah, because the character design...
there are some beautiful things.
There is so much I love about this game. Like, the world, all the setting, the characters. It's the kind of surreal I love. Where it's like, it's so off the wall... But it's
off the wheel, but there's a mundanity to it. I like.
It's kind of a bit wholesome.
Well, I suppose it's not quite, but it's like when you get that cutesy horror stuff.
Yeah,
where like the horror is just very matter of fact.
Yeah,
and they're all kind of cool. It's like whatever, like we slaughtered all the people, whatever. But have you seen my new haircut?
Yeah, I think that I really enjoyed the setting. I struggled a bit with the actual demo, the structure of the demo itself.
Oh, the demo is badly structured.
Yeah.
It is basically the start of the game. They've gated some areas off that you can't go to. And one of them is the main story thread. So I'm like, wait, if I can't follow the main story thread, what am I supposed to be following? But there are side stories at that point to go and investigate because you can take different angles.
Yeah, I feel like I would have enjoyed it more if it was just a little bit more focused. Like
I feel like they should have locked off more of the island,
Yeah.
and told just like one side story. or
yeah,
something.
like it felt too much. Because I think like because I love how they teach you don't take fall damage. So the game starts off, you're in exile, and exile is just like this. You're like 3 kilometers in the air. Yeah, whatever. And it's like, oh, you can just jump down. Don't worry. Like, you know, you won't take damage. Like, oh, okay. I guess
you
it
hit
take
the ground, it cuts to black, and it goes Paradise Killer. But you can see the whole island from up there.
Yeah, and it's big. Yeah. Oh, a little touch that I loved in this game was I'm walking through the world and I keep noticing the volume of the music goes up and down. And I'm like, why is it really loud in some parts and quiet in other parts? All the music is literally coming out of speakers in the world. So the only reason there's music is just the island is playing music, and I just happen to be near speakers. It's a little thing,
and you collect music, and you can set what's allowed on your playlist as well.
It's a little thing, but it's like it's just a little touch of like this world is just playing with my expectations just a little bit.
It's kind of cool. I suppose what's going to come is how, because it has sort of that visual novel, Japanese especially style, where there's, you know, personery. Like, not only are you talking to people to get information, but also you can just hang out with them and you can improve your relationships and stuff like that. So it's got those mechanics in the background. Just don't know what they result in so far. But yeah, as far as the thing, I thought it was pretty unique.
I really liked it. I would love the structure to be something more like an adventure game. It was just a little bit more constrained. I think, like I said, like maybe
just to start you smaller at least.
Yeah, at least give me a little area and then open up. Not like put me in the world and say, oh, here's the radar button. See, like the 4, 5, 6 people you can go talk to at different parts of the island now. Go talk to them. I'm scared. It's too big.
Yeah,
I want like Under a Killing Moon or Normality structure.
It has a lot of like hidden collectibles. Some of them clues to other stories. Some of them just things like music. Some of them to other mysteries. But I do kind of like, did you get to the top of the tower and see like the other way in? Like someone had rappelled down the side and stuff like that.
No,
like you can, there is still like, I mean, obviously you would do this if you're doing it, but there's storytelling in the environment, which is what I want to find.
Yeah,
it's cool. And yeah, it's just you got to go look at it to see if the style takes you. 90s
yeah.
CGI is what I describe it as.
This something else that kind of scared me with the game was that you go meet Justice as a first person, and Justice is one of the gods, I think, that's basically stripped themselves of their ego and just become the embodiment of justice. And Justice has told you to go find out what's happened, and it seemed like. I was just checking your thing. It's like, are we recording?
Yeah. Checking. Don't worry.
And it seemed like at any time you could go and talk to Justice about whether or not you can know who the killer is. And that scared me because the world's so big. I'm like, how do I know when I... It's just like Phoenix Wright where I could just like get enough information to take a punt.
Yeah. Well, that's why I wish there'd been a small case in trial as a demo.
Yes, yeah.
Just to... Even like they said, like, hey, you've been in exile for so long. Let's see if your investigating chops are up to the task.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I got that voice, but yeah, just to let me know all those mechanics. Yeah, because I'm very interested and I really enjoyed what's there so far. But yeah, lots of questions still. Okay, let's do a couple more before we move on to another game, an old game. Let us. That was cool. Yes. Really short one. Monsters Expedition. I think we mentioned it in another show when we said, "Hey, it looks like." Steven's Sausage Roll, except much prettier and more accessible. So this game's like Steven's Sausage Roll.
But is it prettier?
It's much prettier and
it's more accessible.
Yeah. The demo felt really substantial to the point of like, is this like a time-limited version of the full game or something? And then it ended. Okay, it got me just at the right time. That was thinking. So you're a monster and you are investigating a museum of human stuff.
Oh,
so
okay.
Each island just tends to have like an object, just like this is a belt. Humans use this to hold up a thing called pants or something like that. And every island is, you got to get to the next island. You know, got to make a bridge with a tree, but you got to cut down that tree and then you got to roll it to make the appropriate bridge where it needs to be.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And at least the way that it's structured so far, it does the very good thing of teaching you new mechanics, giving you a twist on that mechanic, Then it'll give you an island, which just basically push a tree over, so you get a nice easy one.
Yeah.
Like, thanks.
Yeah.
I didn't want to think again.
Yeah.
Has lots of splits in the path, so if you're struggling one way, you can go a different path. And they tend to converge, so you can just ignore some islands if you really want. And then it just keeps adding some mechanics. So far, it's because at a certain point you go, well, what else are you going to add? And then they add something you're not expecting, and you're like, oh, I get it now. That's cool. This is interesting. So a really simple puzzle game, like really accessible. It has all the go back each individual step or reset an island. Each island is a puzzle. It's really fast and easy, accessible. So yeah, I think that'll just be a solid puzzle game that everyone can enjoy with a little bit of humory jokes about humans in it.
Can I have a look?
You can look at your list again.
What have I got?
You can bring up. Oh, you can bring up anything you want. I don't really care.
Oh yeah, I want to talk the. Okay, let's see if I can say the title. The Dungeon of Naheulbeuk.
When I was reading Upside Down, I thought it was like, that's just Nebuchadnezzar. And they're like,
it's
a different word.
Naheulbeuk.
Upside Down, it looks like Nebuchadnezzar.
The Amulet of Chaos, which I found out has been in development for about 10 years. Because I saw on their Steam page they had an award from 2010. So, short pitch, XCOM Dungeons and Dragons.
Naheulbeuk, could say.
Naheulbeuk.
Yeah. I'm saying like with some authority.
Yeah. Terrible name because I can't say it, let alone pronounce it. Sorry, spell it. But yeah, it's...
But the Amulet of Chaos is all you really
Amulet
need.
of Chaos, you can remember that bit.
No, you can't. That's very generic.
It's, D&D XCOM.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's a French game. I know because it starts off in French.
Oh.
And I had to swap language to English. Luckily, there's a button on the page to swap to English. And it's been in development for 10 years and looks slick as hell.
Oh, yeah, good, because it can go either way.
Yeah. And so it's like you've got like your traditional party of fantasy tropes in this kind of XCOM style thing. Except some of the classes are just like dwarf. That's sort of like one of the running jokes. It's like, what class is he? He's just dwarf.
That's all he's allowed
just
to
a
be,
dwarf.
'cause he's a dwarf.
But the basic structure of it is you got your party, you move around through a dungeon. There's like a kind of almost like a dungeon master kind of narrating of what's going on. I always like that mechanic in these kind of D&D style things.
Okay, so I decided to do a test here.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
It's me. Paul's very rude. So, okay. The Dungeon of...
Yeah.
Because that's also generic.
Yes.
How many letters into the Naheulbeuk thing
do
we need to get
3
before it auto-completes? 1.
Oh, okay. Right.
It auto completes after just the end for me at least. I mean, it's the Google.
So. It's deep machine learning.
It was listening to us.
Yeah.
It's always listening.
So, we walk around this dungeon, and then you go into this X styles of combat. And like I say XCOM because it has elements of things like Overwatch. So it's not like when I say XCOM style, I mean like
it's a bit
turn
cartoony
based. Like you have to worry about things like someone could be like an archer could be covering a direction like in XCOM, but then it brings in D&D stuff like things like attacks of opportunity, so that if you're a fighter and you're standing next to someone, if they try to leave, they'll get attacked. So it's like basically taking these kind of two systems and kind of mushing them up together very successfully. It played great. Fantastic sense of humor to it. Like it sort of like doesn't take itself too seriously.
What sort of like turn order stuff is it doing?
It's not the we go they go. It's more like individual things. But it worked fine.
And what sort of size of the skirmish? It was like a small size thing.
Pretty small, like not XCOM where it's like here's a big base to infiltrate.
But like Chimera Squad.
Yeah, probably closer to that. Or like each individual, like an individual encounter of Chimera Squad. It's sort of like, it's not even moving from room to room. Like it's quite small. And then you finish it off and you go and run off and do the next one.
So in between the battles, that's free roaming?
Yeah, so you're just running around.
That's cool.
It kind of controls a bit. It felt a bit clunky at first, but it's because you're controlling the whole party. So like you have a leader, but it's like it doesn't respond immediately. It's like it feels like you're moving around this big group of people. It's got some stuff like you might want to put the thief out in front because there can be traps and the thief can detect stuff. The thief is also a complete coward. Is another running joke through this thing. But when the thief's out, he's just basically walking really slow, looking scared. But you might detect traps if you get it. So it's got different things like that. That was probably my favorite demo I checked out. Like,
that's cool.
It was.
I wish I'd seen it before the demos went down. Ooh. No, so yeah, I like the sound of that. Okay, let's talk about another game now. Do we switch to you because you haven't spoken about a game yet, or do we stay with me because it's the second most recent game? Your call.
Oh, you're talking about me talking about my game?
Yeah, big games.
This big game.
Yeah, you can talk about that.
I don't really have much to say. It's more of a PSA.
Okay. We'll do your PSA and then
we'll
do the other big game.
Currently at the moment on Steam, Titanfall 2 is like $13 Australian.
So this is part of EA Play's announcement of moving their games to Steam. A very exciting show.
It's very relevant.
Because they're also going to put or like EA Access on.
Yeah. If you have not played Titanfall 2, go spend $13 on Titanfall 2. It's an amazing game.
One of the best Half-Life games there is.
Yeah, it is. It is. Has one of the best single-player campaigns I've played in a first-person shooter. It's fantastic. I picked it up because even though I finished it, it was on PlayStation 4. I mainly wanted to jump back into the PvP or the competitive multiplayer stuff while people are playing it that are new and suck like me. And that game multiplayer is a lot of fun.
You know what would really reduce my anxiety in joining up to multiplayer games? We had a save scum in them. I'd do play so much more Titanfall 2. I'm going to try and wall run in front of this guy, but I don't want to risk it. Oh God, how do we do a multiplayer save scum?
I was wondering the same thing. Like maybe you get a charge or something, like every now and then, or it could be like a team could like set a point they could roll back to. I don't know. It's just, how do you make it not frustrating for the person that feels like they were ripped off?
What was... I'm trying to think of something we talked about earlier in this show. No, it wasn't something... Yeah. I was just thinking the other day about just adding Sands of Time. Oh, yeah. I wanted Dark Souls with Sands of Time.
Yeah. I actually think a Prince of Persia style like Souls game would work really well.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. Thanks. Have the idea. Anyone?
Yeah. So next Prince of Persia reboot, just make it a Souls-like. I'm happy with that.
That's all good. Okay, I will now talk about Deep Rock Galactic, which I've been playing.
Which I've been interested in
with my best friends.
Yes, not James. the much better friends.
Yes. So we've had a few sessions now. Deep Rock Galactic is the Dwarves in Space game where you get to go down to a randomly generated dungeon. You get to mine your way through it, doing various sorts of collections normally. It's class-based. I've been playing a scout the whole time, and I was really annoyed because everyone... You don't have to have one of each class, because there's an engineer, a gunner...
is there a healer?
No, there's no one dedicated to healing, and scout. And scout was the most useless. I was like, why do I want to be a scout? And then I realized that everyone else... So one person can shoot flying fox style things, like little tethers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So people can get on there and they can slide either way on them. Someone can shoot platforms, so they can just make ways up. But I just got grappling hook. I just go wherever the fuck I want. It's really, really useful. I'm always rescuing people and I always mind the most because I can just go. Someone goes, "Oh, can we get that over there?"
So you're saying it's the most selfish class?
No, because everything's shared.
Oh, okay.
So it's good.
But it's the glory shared.
Oh, yeah, but the thing is, we end the thing and it's got Paul's got 80 kills and the gunner's got 300 kills. I'm like, oh, fuck. Because my guns are not that powerful and they run out of ammo really quickly. So basic structure of most missions will be we've landed in this area. We need to collect these sort of minerals and maybe these special items or something as a bonus. Make your way through. There's a 3D map, which is a bit Metroid Prime, just in the way it's rendered 3D. You can look around. Normally marks at least items that you want, probably not minerals. But
so you're space dwarves, right?
You're space dwarves. And the terrain is deformable. You're smashing through it with pickaxes or driller. Yeah, that's the other guy. He can drill through shit. So you make your way through down there. There's aliens. There's pretty old bug-like arachnoid sort of things. And they'll come and attack you variously as you go through. They might be there. They might do something that triggers a wave. And then once you've got everything, there's a little, let's call them a minecart on legs that follows you around. Fill them up and you're like, okay, well, we're done. Let's hit the button. Yeah, let's hit the button. And the minecart will then go back to the beginning of the level where the pod is going to drop down for escape. And you've got normally 5 minutes at that point to escape. At that point, it becomes almost Left 4 Dead-y and having a horde after you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
As you escape. So as you make your way down, you better make sure you're not fucking up a way back out. So, here's one thing.
Unless you're Paul? And you have
No, I'm just traveling. I'm not going to go anywhere. I always get out. So, before I get another thing, so you seen that? So you can direct that minecart around. So after a few matches, man, we know what we're going to fucking do. We're going to take the minecart back to the top before we trigger it. Boom. Aha. It went down. It's like it has a minimum distance it'll go.
Yeah.
Maybe the worst one was when we did it normally, and we weren't. It's not that far to the front, but it's along like a round way. It just went up through the ceiling, and we couldn't follow it. It went back to the pod in like 10 seconds. We're like, holy shit! We can't go that way. So yeah, it has a lot of like there's minerals you can mine that you can spend to get like resupplies during the mission and stuff like that. There's lots of co-op mechanics like so the scout that I've been playing, I can shoot. We can all throw flares everywhere because it's mine. Like there's no light there other than some bioluminescent plants and stuff. But I can fire out like a really big light, but I'm limited in those. There's different weapons, and then once you've done a mission, there's a big ship that you go to that has shitloads of customization. And so as we get every time we finish the mission, we're all running back to the equipment, seeing what we can upgrade, what perks we can put on the stuff, start changing our characters around. At the moment, when you get the game, you get a bunch of free money and just buy some mustaches. I took away my beard as a dwarf. I didn't want to be a bearded dwarf, but I've got big mutton chops. Yeah. So I thought that big mutton chops and a big mustache. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to be the opposite of the beard. The ship is quite fun to explore itself. It's weirdly big. Yeah. It's like, wow, why is there so much stuff? Well, one thing, there's a bunch of stations to customize stuff and like craft things or whatever that aren't even accessible until you've prestiged a character.
Okay.
So
what does prestiging a character mean?
Call of Duty style. So you reach max level.
Yeah.
Then you promote them. And then while you keep your stuff, it takes their level back to 1. And only then can you even start accessing some of the systems in the game. That sounds... Because this is like... Because we were playing Vermintide 2, you and I, where there's just fuckloads you can start investing into this, investing in that, start optimizing your character for different builds. This is very much that. Maybe not quite as much as Vermintide 2, because that had some pretty crazy level of stuff. But yeah, it is a lot of progression. You're always getting little perks, like a lot of passives and team-based stuff. But also what I liked... So this whole idea of like going to a thing, mining down, mining back up, it's a bit repetitive. Yeah. So there are a few things that separate it. There are a few different mission types. One of the ones that I really enjoyed the most was there was no minecart. You were in a central like hub, and there was a big base in the center, and you just had to go exploring out and keep bringing things back to the same spot and keep defending that area as waves would come in and stuff like that. That was really interesting. There was also ones where you're like rescuing equipment and things like that. But probably the most interesting thing is the topography is very interesting. So sometimes it's just a bunch of caverns that you drill between and there's sort of pathways and it's kind of linear. Yeah. That's good. One of them was a giant shaft, just a giant hole down the middle.
So it got a lot of biomes.
And then it went off. Yeah, it felt, at least so far, and we're, I don't know, 5-6 hours in playing together. The missions are varied enough in the structure of the world that they're not feeling boring, like we're just doing the same thing each time. Even though if you went down to the minute by minute, we are doing the same thing each time. When waves are coming in, like they normally they'll come running up either way corridors, but they also can burrow through the walls themselves. So you can suddenly be breached above you or something like that. So it means that you can often be surprised in a fight. The secrets to find. It looks really attractive and it runs very well, at least on my machine, which is pretty decent rig, but I'm running it like max everything and not noticing anything. You do just we're constantly going, is it hard enough? You can change the difficulty when choosing missions.
And you get some bonus if you bump up the difficulty.
Yeah, I think you do. I think maybe you can get more out of it. But I haven't actually played that part myself. But it becomes at the moment where it's very easy until it's not. And suddenly things start going wrong. It's like, I'm out of ammo, quick pull at a thing. Oh shit, we don't have enough. So if you don't have enough of the main mineral used to pay for drops, You need to mine that. So there have been several times as a
Oh,
scout
well,
where during a fight, I'm like, there's fucking up there on the
So
roof.
you're up there.
So I've just launched myself across the map. I'm just
Yeah.
getting... So I was like, we hit 50, call down the fucking drop. While everyone is on like their secondary weapon running out of her. We've been getting some really good moments. And I think that's what you want out of a game like this. So I've been really enjoying it. I think it's solid. They've got a long pathway of stuff. But I think there's a lot of DLC they're selling for it, which... I don't know. When it's something that's just come out of early access, I just want it to be...
Yeah, because it was just something how they kept funding their early access by releasing DLC while it was in early access.
Maybe. But I think it's been doing pretty well. It feels a little bit off balance to me with it. But I haven't investigated it at all.
Yeah.
So I'm just playing the base game, and it's fun. It's really enjoyable. And yeah, doing it with... I think you want 4 people.
Yeah. You can't play this thing by yourself.
You can. I just don't know why you'd want
Yeah.
to. There's no bots or anything. It also means if you go down, who's going to save you? Maybe the mule can come and do a save or something, but that doesn't sound particularly exciting. Yeah, you want those panics, especially since there's fall damage.
Oh, okay.
So whilst I go around and I save a lot of people, I do break my legs a lot. Because you grapple to a roof, and if you didn't grapple to something that also has a little ledge underneath you, you don't get to hang off that roof. You just fall back down.
Okay.
I really need to find some sort of build that lets me mitigate fall damage, because I break my legs a lot. Speaking of breaking legs, last episode we talked about Superland and Barrow Trauma.
Yes.
So I did a little sort of review, which we don't normally do on this show, on the radio show that I'm now on, Z Games, which I do some contribution to at the moment. We're not sure how regular, but I've done one episode with them, and I did a formal review of Barrow Trauma. And by formal, I mean...
You gave it... What score? What number did you give it, Paul?
I didn't give it a score, because I don't do that. But the only new thing from what we talked about last time is I went public. I said, okay, James and I have been having our little adventures in our submarine of horror. Time to go into what I'm sure is the most horrible, toxic community. And you can never judge a community on your own experience because you don't know who you're going to get. But so far, no toxicity at all. It's been absolutely wonderful. Half of them are lovely Russian gentlemen that love to role play and be very funny while they do it. And I said stories, and I think I've told James before, but one of my favorite things was there was a griefer who just had 2 knives and he was stabbing people. And someone just goes, "There's a guy here stabbing people. Quick, arrest him! Arrest him!" And a security officer came over and handcuffed him, and we put him in the brig. Because it can be in the fiction.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a crazy person, whatever. It doesn't matter. We can mitigate it and go with it. I found a clown costume, and I put on these clown clothes, and I had a horn, and I was running around going,
And what was the benefit out of it?
Nothing. I just found a clown. I thought it would be funny. And when people would ask me a question, I'd just go, and then someone had been breaking into the medical bay because the captain, well, I think it's his captain, can restrict who can open what doors. And normally the doctor's the only one that can open the medical bay. And a maintenance guy was going in, and I was a maintenance person. And like, some maintenance guy keeps going in there. How's he doing that? He must have stolen someone's tags, because that's how you get through. You have a physical like ID tag, and if someone dies or potentially steal, you could take their tag and pose as someone else and get security clearance, because the game is nothing but systems driven. He must have a tag. The clown's got it. The clown's got it. I'm like, I just start talking like, no, I haven't done anything. I'm trying to fix this leak in this room. What are you talking about? And as I'm defending myself, this guy in full clown makeup just runs past me. Oh, that clown. It's a silly game. I don't think I've beaten a single mission of that fucking game.
It's not about
and
winning.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I do not care. I have so much fun playing it. Okay, let's do a couple more demos, shall we? Okay, let's not ignore our co-op games now as well. Okay, oh God, there's so many. It's hard to pick because there's so much good stuff.
We played KeyWe.
KeyWe was very cool.
Yes.
KeyWe, you played 2 Kiwis.
Yep.
I think it might
Postal
also have 4
Kiwis.
players as well, but we
Maybe.
were 2-player.
Yeah.
We know it has 2 players.
Yes, we can confirm
we
that.
know it has 2 players.
So in that one, you're playing 2 little tiny Kiwis who's operating a post office.
Yes.
And you will get requests to send messages, which involve pressing keys and enter to send them off.
Just a bit of co-op organization.
Yeah,
like the first one was you getting a message and typing it out on what's this Morse code thing? that sort of thing. So
like a telegram.
You're typing out a telegram.
Yeah.
But the keys are hidden all over the environment.
Yeah,
and moving things. And
it's a little bit odd, but like
contraptions.
the actual keys are rotating, and sometimes they're on flipping panels and things like that.
Yeah.
So you got to constantly, I'll go to this letter, I'll go to this letter.
I've got a T. Look for the H.
I need a shift.
The H is over next to you. Oh, good. I'll get that too. You get the E. So a bit of communication there. And then the second one was we're putting together out of like a ransom note, putting together words on a message to send off by some
cassowaries.
Cassowary, yeah.
Yeah.
And that one was a bit flawed because the first one was quite intuitive.
Yeah.
The second one, after you make the letter, which was quite intuitive, you had to then put it in an envelope and then give it to a cassowary at the back.
And one player has to feed the cassowary.
Yeah. If the cassowary is not fed, you can't do up its back. Yeah. So once we looked at the tutorial, it was fine. Yeah. But it was just a little...
It wasn't that intuitive.
So I think it's a really cute game. It played really well. We had a good fun with it. The only thing that... It's funny with demos sometimes. I didn't get an idea of what the content of the full game is. Is it more scenarios, or is it those scenarios but with complications?
Yeah, because I guess like I didn't come out of that... Maybe it's because we saw two variants. We didn't see kind of like a iteration on the one variant.
Yes.
And so it was hard to know like, well, yeah, what's this thing going to be? Will it be something that I want to spend money on, or is it like a game jam thing which just has like this little core concept? Is it something
that I'll get enough out of it in this game demo thing?
Yeah.
Which is sometimes the problem with it, because demos they can really sell a game if people don't know about it. Except they also can turn people off a game if they don't like it. But also, if they get their fill playing the demo, they don't actually need a full product.
Which, for a couch co-op game, can be
enough.
Because there's so many of them. Like, well, I can play it. I get it now.
Well, we played a whole afternoon, and we didn't even get through half the list of possible co-op games that we could have tried. And we weren't hitting content limits of most of them. We were hitting time to try something else limits. Because I'll mention...
So one we did hit the limit of was... Fling your friend. I thought it was Fling your friends. Fling to the finish.
Fling to the finish.
Fling to the finish. That one was a lot of fun.
This was really good. It is. You are tethered together by an elastic tether, and
it gave me like a heave ho vibe.
Yes, a bit heave ho-y because you can grip onto the ground to hold on. So if one person is gripping, the other person can pull themselves back, and the first person can trigger to fling them forward like they pull it on. What effectively this meant when we played it, so you then going through an obstacle course. Yeah. And the obstacle courses, even though it's 3D, it reminded me a lot of the theming of like Sonic games.
Oh, I was about to say that. Like a lot of the levels,
Casino World,
it'd be like Casino level. Like it was like playing through a Sonic game. It's a bit random. It's like this world has giant cards that you can land on. Sure,
and they use all those things to then build up physics mechanics too.
And I was very impressed that game was so physics driven. It was not terribly janky. It was not janky at all. It was running pretty well.
And what we found because of this mechanic of being able to grip on and rescue the other person, basically, we weren't getting the physics jank of frustration. Yeah. We were getting a holy shit, I've fallen off, and the other person just grips on and pulls you back up. Yeah. And what we didn't get to do is the game is actually 8-player, and it's 4 teams racing, which I think
that'll be madness.
That'll be absolutely crazy.
But even just as a 2-player get through the level thing, I thought it was a lot of fun.
I thought it was a lot of fun doing that. And it runs so well, and it's a very clean look, not overly fancy, but just very readable.
Never really felt like I was fighting the controls.
No.
Having the grip as the oh fuck button generally worked out pretty well. Yeah. I liked in the one areas where there was like the TNT boxes that blew you off. Yeah. They wouldn't respawn them.
Blew you off.
Yeah. They didn't respawn them if you died. Yeah, so if there was one part of the level which was a bit hard because it was full of these exploding boxes, well, after a while, there's no exploding boxes.
Because it was just giving you a time penalty there.
Yeah, because it's time-based. But if you don't care about the time, then, okay, whatever. You know, that was it was one of the few that we actually got all through it.
Yeah, there was a similar game called PHOGS, which is basically cat dog except with 2 dogs. And so it's
infinitely better.
It's a snake with a dog on each end. And it controlled quite similarly. It's apparently 2-player, but when we loaded it up, it didn't work with the controller, so I played one with each stick. Yeah. I think it would be more fun with 2 people. But this was one of those games that visually polished out the fucking ass.
Yeah, it was
so nice to look at. it played relatively well. The only thing that I just wanted to draw attention to was that there's like chilies.
Oh, yeah.
And if you eat the chili, you start breathing fire, but not the end that eats it.
Yeah.
It's the other end that breathes fire.
That was very cute.
And that was very cool. It's a cute little puzzle physics game. Out of the two, I preferred Fling to the finish.
Yeah.
But polish and visuals, PHOGS is one of the best things we saw. Yeah.
Oh, Cake Bash.
Yep.
Cake Bash.
Again, very, very attractive.
It made me very hungry. You're playing fighting
Cakes.
Desserts.
Yeah.
I get to play an eclair. And
I think I played a cheesecake of some sort.
And the way it's animated, it's like there's this animated videos people just draw like stick figure arms on things.
Like they take a GIF and like they give the iceberg like arms.
There's kind of little stick arms, and that's sort of the aesthetic. And it works really well.
It's just a collection of mini games.
It is a collection of mini games. The mini games we played were quite fun. They were quite varied. It mostly made me hungry.
Yeah, I would love to see that with like a Mario Party style wrapper around it.
Yeah, as much as I don't like Mario Party, I kind of feel like a dessert-based Mario Party would probably be my bag.
Cool. You could have additional rules for eating, like Jen Sandercook, who did his special rules for playing Cake Bash with cakes.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah, that one I like that one. It looked gorgeous, played well.
Yeah, very cool. So that was Cake Bash. In our polished multiplayer games, Tanknarok.
Oh yeah.
Which I think might have actually just launched today.
Yeah. Well, it looked like it was almost done.
It's tanks combat style. It's arena shooter thing. Now this game might be the slickest couch co-op game I've ever played. Game starts. You're on an arena. The first player is just you drive around as the menu. Everyone else just comes in. Everyone's just in the menu. You can practice there. Get a hand on the controls. Run over. Start the game. The game's loaded in like half a second.
Yeah.
Matches might last 5 seconds. It is really fast. It is juiced out the fucking ass.
Scoreboard pops up, but you're immediately playing over the top of the scoreboard.
Oh.
It's the game has so much respect for your time. They just basically went, where can we remove out any waiting? There's anything that's stopping you from playing more of this game.
Yeah.
Let's take that out. And it felt it. It's like this game just like
it's just got a bunch of wacky weapons, as you imagine that, and we learnt them pretty quickly, and we start doing stuff. As I say, it's about the only thing that I thought was a bit weird was there wasn't really a damage indicator that I could see on the tanks. Especially if you're using like a minigun or something like that, you might have to shoot someone for a few seconds.
Yeah, because like you die pretty quick.
A bunch of stuff are single hit kills.
But there was no like damage indicator that I could realize. Like I didn't notice it even on the tank itself. Like maybe it was there, but I didn't really notice it.
It moves so fast and there was so much juice going on. Maybe we just couldn't see it.
Yeah.
But so run so amazingly well. Okay. Nuts. Nuts was a game that I saw at Not E3 that I was really interested in. It is visually sort of like a blueprint. So it's a single color then with line art over it. And you are in a forest, almost Firewatch style. But you are there to survey the local squirrels. And so you go, well, there's a squirrel over in this tree. You could take a camera over there and we'll record overnight. And then the next day, you'll go through the footage and get me some pictures of the squirrel. Do that. Okay, well, he's running over there. We'll give you a second camera. So you start putting cameras in this environment, tracking where the squirrels are going. And you get like more monitors so you can search through each night. And eventually, and spoilers here, so eventually you find where you're storing the nuts. And not only they're storing nuts, but they've also got a tank of gasoline and some matches. These squirrels are up to something. So I love everything about this premise. I believe it's a Unity game, and it really, really feels like they've just bunged on some sort of first-person control in this because
they've just gone for the default first-person controller and gone, that'll do.
Which means, so what the loop of this game means, I think the squirrel's going to go that way tonight. So you set up a camera there, and so you go back to your hut and you say, okay, well, we'll do the night. Goes to the next day. You say, I missed it, got to go adjust it. You go back to the camera, readjust it, go back, do the next night. Now, because this is just kind of a repetitive thing where you're just adjusting something, there's no real content in between here. You're just holding down shift and you're just running through this environment like it's fucking Quake.
Yeah.
Which totally robs it of all atmosphere. But if it was also slow pondering around like Firewatch, you'd be really annoyed that you have to walk slowly to go back to these cameras or something every time. Because that's also.
I guess it feels like they hit a design problems. It sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And the solution was to make them run faster. which rather than
really, and the physics is just like I should not be jumping and launching myself around this world. I'm supposed to be a park ranger, basically. It made me just stop enjoying the experience.
Because like I feel like something like that, it's like maybe you could just do a fade to black. Yeah, and just do a teleport or something. Like if you want to get rid of that downtime between.
Yeah, it's like you start the next day at the last camera you placed or something like that, just to take away some of that time.
Or if you're going to have that downtime, do something with it.
Yeah, like have more conversations. Have more things in the environment to observe. Because nothing moves in the environment during the day. It only moves in the recordings at night. And I love surveillance and cameras and stuff like that. And
you also like them in games.
But yeah, it just I feel like it's potentially solvable, but I think maybe the core loop of just adjusting a camera over and over again maybe needs a little bit of work. Not having that downtime, having maybe just stay at the camera and you can fast forward through time there. Because I also love being able to jog backwards and forwards in time in games. I've already pitched it once this very episode for another game. Anyway, so nuts. Okay.
I played Skellboy.
Skellboy is very cool.
Skellboy was one I almost passed over because I sort of looked at it and went, it's a pixely thing. I don't know, whatever. No, it's fantastic.
It's more voxely than pixely.
Yeah. So I think it's voxely and it's animated voxels.
Yeah, it's weird because they're flat. They're almost,
but they have depth.
Yeah, that's why. So I guess it's voxel sprites, kind of.
Well, part of me started thinking like, what's the tech behind this?
Yeah,
and that it might be doing something where it's potentially just an animated sprite they're extruding. It could just be that. Yeah. Or
and there's multiple of them, so they can be different angles.
But then I thought, actually, no, it's probably more likely they just animated in the voxel editor. And it's just built out of voxels. But yeah, so it's a little top-down action RPG, action combat game. Yeah.
People think of Zelda when you say that. They're not thinking.
And this you play Skellboy, this little skeleton friend. The point this game sold me was the very beginning, where you start off as little Skellboy, and I try to jump, and it pops up. You have to have legs to jump.
It's very true. You do.
It's like, I do have to do that. So a big part of this game is actually getting body parts, because one of the first things you do is you go get some legs, and now you can jump. And so after that, it's like, well, it's top down RPG thing. You start moving through this little world, fighting things, whatever. But basically everything you kill has drops, and there's like a head drop, there's a leg drop, there's I think, and then it's like an accessory or some other.
And there is an upper body.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. Yeah. And these will, I don't know if they all do, but a lot of them in some way will affect gameplay.
Some of them negatively.
Yes, some of them negatively.
I think Stinky Feet takes away one health point.
Yeah. And so basically, as you're playing this game and you're killing things, you're getting more and more body parts to swap out and just changing up the experience. Like at some point, I've got this thing where if I jump, I'm like stunning around me.
Yeah.
And the weapon I've got is like this kind of slow charge up thing. So I'm stunning things. Club. Yeah, and I'm hitting them. They had this excellent moment where you come across this monster that's about to be executed.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, hey, he's in the guillotine. Now, at this point, I've well learnt the mechanic that I can take someone's head. And he says, hey, can you save me? No, sir.
Oh, I did.
No, I want his head.
What does his head do?
I think it was the one where it's like an extra armor.
Okay.
And I think you could hold...
So if you let him go, he gives you his sword.
So you get the helmet. I think it's like if you can use the button, like use the helmet, and like it might knock something back or something.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's like little... Yeah. This thing charmed the hell out of me. Like, even though aesthetically, I thought it was alright. I thought it looked nice. But constantly giving me new things to play with, I always love that. And there's just constantly looking like, I can swap out this bit and I can find this little synergy here. Yeah, Skellboy. It's a good one.
Okay. It's time to talk about Rhythm Doctor.
Oh, I like 66% of that game.
What is funny is that you just like the part I like the most.
And when I say I don't like it, it's just I was bad at it. I actually thought it was still fine.
We're just going to straight up spoil it. So Rhythm Doctor is a rhythm game, and it starts, and I immediately said, why the fuck did I download this? This is the stupidest idea for a rhythm game I've ever heard.
It's one button.
It's one button, and it's like, just hit the beat every 7th beat.
Yeah.
Out of it's 8 beats, 4/4. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll do that. And it started like the tutorial. I'm like, well, this tutorial is very boring. Like the writing's okay, but
Yeah, it's cute
I'm
and
not
funny.
not doing anything interesting. And then the first song plays, and it's really boring. And then it starts cutting up the music a bit in almost like a glitch aesthetic. And the screen starts jumping up a little bit, but you're just hitting on the 7th. I'm like, okay, this music sounds good, and I feel kind of cool doing this now. But again, really straightforward and simple, and I think I'm done with this game. So I'm about to hit Alt F4. I'm like, let's give it another level. Do you want to play the tutorial? No, I'll just keep playing. Oh, instantly I go, oh shit, it's not the 7th beat. I can't remember what the second song is in.
I think it's like you have to hit beat like 2 and maybe 6 or something.
So it's just, okay, they alternate that. But at this point, it also unfull screens itself. What the fuck? Full screen, goes full screen, unfull screens itself. What the fuck is going on? Yeah. And I mean, we're spoiling this because we want you to know that it's interesting. Now I have dual monitors, and my monitors are set up landscape and portrait like a weirdo. So at this point, the window starts moving around my screens in time with the music, and cutting up and down and teleporting around the place and moving off the screen and up and down. And whilst the music is still somewhat easy to follow and hit the things, visually, it is a thing that what was it called? King's, where it was you playing like a fake OS that kind of did stuff like this. But this is literally just doing it on Windows. It shifted my fucking screen, and it's using my portrait and my landscape monitor, and it is giving me some really cool aesthetics and weirdness. And I was like, okay, so this was really cool. You were less sold on that one, James.
Well, I was struggling even when it wasn't moving. That particular beat, I couldn't. Okay,
so it was just you weren't landing.
And I think it's because that song there wasn't really much. There weren't beats in the way. It was like a kind of like rhythm, and I really struggled with the timing of getting that because you have to be pretty accurate. But then when I was jumping around, and because I've got 2 monitors as well, so most of the time it was just like stuck between the two, half the screen's over here and half the screen's over here. I actually stopped paying attention. I was like, actually look away. It's like watching the screen is not helping me because I'm actually not really need to look at the screen for any of this. I'm just listening to the music. But yeah, that one I really struggled with.
And they're generally fighting a boss, but it really comes down to just how much you're hitting the things. Now the third one, the songs actually seem to have a different structure as far as what the success and failure were.
Well, what I loved with the third one I thought was the cleverest.
And it is very funny too.
Yeah, so it's funny. It's a song where it's kind of about a patient and a doctor, and the doctor's trying to see the patient wants the doctor to see them, but the doctor's got so many patients to see. And what I thought was really clever about it is as it gets more and more complex, it's getting harder because there's more beats coming in that I have to manage while also doing the doctor.
There's multiple characters.
Because there's multiple requests and things like that. So it very nicely kind of fits into the theming of the story. It's very well put together. And I liked that when it failed the song, it was just more framed as it was the bad ending.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, I've failed. It's like, it's still got a story out of it. And I could see I was more inclined with that one to want to go back and kind of try to do better. Where with the second level, I was just like,
It was also the point that I realized that they're pretty good songwriters.
Yeah.
Because that one has, I don't think the other ones had lyrics.
Don't think so. Yeah.
That one did, and it was well written, and and then the fourth one is a variation on the first one, which at first I thought it's like hitting the 7th beat, blasting through whatever. Oh, the boss seems to be dying quite quickly. Oh well, whatever. I must be nailing this. Yeah. And then well, let's fucking swing this beat up. And it's like, it restarts again, and it's going really fast, and it's great. Yeah. So stylish. Yeah. I did not expect to think anything of this game, and it ended up blowing me away. Rhythm Doctor.
Yeah. Which, if you're going to play I was going to say you could play it on phone because it's just one touch, but how's it going to...
They'd have to do something else with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that one level that would work on a phone.
Because I actually wonder how much with the kind of clickety-clack keyboard I've got, if that was messing with my timing, it was just sort of harder because there's sort of more action with having
they've got the setup at the beginning.
Yeah.
I was playing it with a wireless 360 controller. I felt like
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should have had another.
It
input
did
method.
still do a latency
Yeah.
test at the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was really cool. Like I said, I didn't like the second song, but it's more because I sucked at it. The actual like package as a whole was really cool.
Yeah. So Rhythm Doctor was that highlight. Say blah blah blah. Let's going down. Now, a game that has been a while ago. I think it was kickstarted. Omno. OMNO. It was sort of sold as a bit of a journey, and it really, really, really nails that aesthetic. It's very soft colors. You're this creature walking around, and what it really excels at is a beautiful world to explore, but then primarily movement. So it feels nice to move. The demo's relatively short in the content it has. You solve a little puzzle, you jump a few blocks, blah blah. Then just before it ends, it introduces a teleport mechanic, where if you see a checkpoint in front of you, you just look at it, push a button, and you whoosh over with such a style. Like it really feels
really
like,
satisfying.
Yeah, some Chronicle shit. What was Jumper? That shitty movie. Yeah, really jumping. Then you get to the end of the demo, and there's some cool dinosaurs or something, and then you're at the end of the demo, and it loads up a desert area. It says like, demo's over, thanks for playing, but you can explore the desert area, and you get a new ability, the ability to surf on your staff, and moving around with that.
It
plus
feels
the
really
teleport.
good. Yeah.
Fuck it, I can't wait. Now, one of the things that first I saw in this game was because the developers post a lot on, I can't remember, might have been Reddit, is flying. So this game was Sky before Sky came out, basically. So really beautiful clouds, really soft clouds, flying around between them, going to islands and space and everything. Like, if you can just keep this feeling going, this game's going to be
if they
really cool.
Because I assume that Sky at some point is coming to other platforms.
It is. In fact, they just announced like a season 2 of content as well.
I feel like I need to go play Sky.
Yeah, well, I think, was it you that was telling me they added controller support to Apple stuff?
They've got controller support, yeah.
So, I mean, I might even go back to that. Or I just kind of want to play it on like a big screen.
Yeah.
With maybe slightly more processing power. It'll come.
Yeah.
Sky's very pretty. Okay. Keep looking at our list. Blue. Oh, well, how can we go past
ULTRAKILL?
Now, this was... I mentioned it last episode.
Yeah, it was your counter to the wholesome.
Yeah, you were talking
discussion.
about wholesome. And I was like, oh, you have to see this game.
Yeah.
It was like, sure.
It's good.
So retro aesthetic. And what I discovered has a name.
Oh, does it? What is it?
Boomer Shooters. So
it's beautiful.
So James and I are quite into Boomer Shooters sometimes. Which is first-person shooters that embrace a retro aesthetic.
That's beautiful.
So this takes on a sort of Quake aesthetic.
Yep.
It also takes some hints from Bulletstorm.
Well, it gives you an option at the beginning if you want like wobbly walls or not. So
like PS1.
If you want to go
walls,
PlayStation 1 wobbly walls, you can.
No, we are PC people.
Hell yeah, PC Master Race. Thank you very much.
Although I did get a probably they added that because they did get a showing on the spooky PS1 thing.
Okay.
So they must have added it together.
That was like, showcase. Oh shit, we want to get in the showcase. Can you spend like an hour giving us wobbly walls?
Give us some shitty textures.
Wobbly walls.
Here it comes. So it is a hardcore first-person shooter, which has a scoring mechanism similar to Bulletstorm, where doing different moves and varying it up and keeping a flow going is important. Also, a big focus on movement. So not only do you have your normal fast, we're talking Quake speed.
Yeah.
You also have a slide, which moves really fast.
Yeah,
I love it. That's really
I don't think. I don't think you lose any momentum when you slide.
I think you gain it. If anything.
And your multiplier goes up. So there's a reason to just keep sliding.
And you also get like a stomp. So if you jump above someone, you can stomp down and hurt them. There's a few other movement things I think there. So one of the things I've noticed in modern games is when I was a teenager, every shot was a headshot. Now I'm just like, that's not time efficient for my lifestyle. I'm just like, body shot, great. I can spend twice as many bullets. I don't care to mow it down. For some reason, this game, gotta go for the heads. Gotta go for the heads. It just feels right. They've like the enemy's designed right. The head's right there. It's gonna pop. It's gonna be good. And so what's the alternate fire on the first pistol?
Charge.
Oh, it's a piercing shot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. That's cool. That's useful. I can shoot a few guys at once if they get in
they line them up nicely for you.
Yeah, they do it all the time. Yeah. And that's sort of, you can start thinking also like sort of bullet hell, geometric puzzle stuff with it, but really fast paced and just shooting things in the face.
I like the first boss you come up against.
Oh, the
pale face or angry face, I think it's called. Killed me a few times.
Actually, I forgot about that one. I thought we were talking about the ninja guy later, but no, that was... I just shot through that one. That was really cool.
No, it took me like 3 or 4 goes.
But the first like weapon unlock you get, its second ability is to throw out a coin, and if you shoot the coin, it will hit the weak spot of the closest enemy. And I'm like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, this game's got some serious fucking, like, doesn't give a shit. It's doing whatever it wants. Really pumping soundtrack. It's just super fast paced. Quite like it has all these like modifiers and strange weapon ideas, and I just love sliding around the place. And I don't know how much I could play it because I feel like my blood pressure can't stay up that high that long. Boy, I had a good time. James, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, pretty much that. It's really frenetic and fun, and it was a fun time.
It is a fun time. Yeah. So ULTRAKILL.
Yeah,
a good name. It's part of the Dusk and
New Blood. Yeah. What I liked about this was that it was kind of doing its own thing a bit more. It wasn't trying to be let's be Quake.
Yeah, it definitely had inspirations.
Yeah,
it is its own thing. It's cool. It certainly holds that boomer shooter.
Oh, boomer shooter! I love that term.
Let's get in there. What
else we got?
We still got a few. Well, you don't have to talk about everything, but
Rustler.
I thought you'd like to talk about that one.
Yeah, Rustler. So Rustler we spoke about a little bit as described it as the medieval GTA.
Well, they even has the subtitle Grand Theft Horse.
Yeah. And it is 100% what it says on the tin. So if you enjoyed GTA 1, 2 / Chinatown Wars, that's the kind of thing you're getting out of it.
Because I was expecting a little bit. So last year, American Fugitive came out, and that's that sort of like, I think it's in the 80s, and you're like in a small town in the US, and you've escaped prison, and you're trying to write your name and all that sort of stuff. I was expecting a little bit like that, but I didn't realize that it's full on. Well, even it's closer to Saints Row in its silliness. Yeah. It is very silly.
Yeah, I mean, aesthetically, it reminded me almost of Shrek. Like if you take Shrek and you take out all the fantasy stuff, but like how Shrek is fantasy but with like modern trappings. Yeah. So it's the kind of thing where
when the medieval police start hunting you down.
Yeah, well, you go into town and there's zebra crossings, but the zebra crossings just like planks, so they're just thrown on the ground, and there's places to park your horse with a P above it. Like if you're on the run from the guard and you need to get away from them, you go to the Pimp My Horse shop and they change your horse. Like it's a GTA. Like it's the most GTA game we've had since Chinatown Wars. Yeah. And I enjoyed the writing. It was funny.
I thought you said the riding.
The riding was fine.
The riding, if anything, is a little too easy.
Yeah, I think like.
But then if you make it too horsey, then it might be too annoying.
Yeah,
as well.
like there's different vehicles. Like for what it's worth, like you get a plow. Like, and I think.
Oh man, I love plowing that field. And then you get the corpse wagon.
Yeah, the thing I love with the plowing is like it's one of the first quests you get. It's like, can you go plow the field, please? And you're plowing, you're watching the percentage go up. And he gets to like 80%, and he's like, I'm good enough. That's it. End of mission.
I was plowing my lines too close to earlier lines because I wanted to do a really good job.
No, I'm just all over the place. I just love that. The character's like, nah.
Good enough.
Good enough. Because you play the town drunk. Like you're just a bit of a dickhead. I really enjoyed it. Like. Yeah, it's GTA. I haven't had GTA in a while. What I felt was a little bit missing is in one of the things you really like in GTA 1 and 2 is like there's a lot of variety in the cars you can get. I didn't see a lot of variation between the kind of vehicles and things you might get.
No, it looked like it might be a title that runs out of steam pretty quickly.
Yeah. Like I don't know what. Yeah, like finding this weird car to drive around is going to give you a different feel. I'm pretty sure most horses are going to feel kind of the same. What I played, I enjoyed though.
Yeah.
It was far more GTA than I was expecting.
Yes. Okay. Now, is there anything?
Ring of Pain? Quickly talk about
that
one.
About Ring of Pain?
Yeah.
That was one of the PAX, the indie showcase last year.
Yeah. I thought this was a really interesting little card game roguelike thing. Kind of like in the vein, I guess, of something like Slay the Spire. a little bit. What I liked with this one is it tries to give you all the information you need to make a decision. To the point where, like, so the idea is that you've got 2 cards in front of you. You have to pick which one you want to deal with. It might be like a chest to open, or it might be an enemy to fight. You might be able to try and sneak past it. But what you can actually see all the cards. So it's a literal ring. So it's a ring of cards that you can see. And what you're trying to do is just get to the door card. And once you get to the door card, you're done, and you can move on. So you can just sort of decide, do I want to go left and right? Because I can kind of see where the closer is. But maybe if I go the harder path, there might be some more options along the way. But like, I was playing rounds which were done sometimes in like about 20 seconds. Because it's like, it gets really quick of like, that way. Okay, that didn't work. It's whatever, I'll start again. I haven't seen that kind of like card game before, where it's like you're working through, you can see all the cards, and it's more like path picking. And deciding which way you want to go.
Do you get cards as you're going along, or have you, is it a pre-built deck? Or
no, you don't get any cards. You have stats. So it's like you have health. You kind of get more powerful. You get like abilities that you can use. I can't remember what they were. I think they were like, get health, and I think it's like you might have a card which has like a chance of being cursed or healing you. You can kind of pick which one you want. But yeah, interesting little mechanic. I really liked how fast it was. I liked the aesthetic. That was Ring of Pain. Ring of Pain, yeah.
Ring of Pain. Kosmokrats.
Yes.
No one's played this but me.
Yeah, I haven't played that one.
Kosmokrats is cool. Kosmokrats is, you are part of the Russian, Soviet, I think it's USSR, space program. And they're building space stations and stuff in space. And you're a new recruit. And you have to help them assemble them, and the stations are sort of broken up into almost like Tetris-style pieces, but it's 2D plane. They're free-floating in space, and you've got to sort of, using your little drone, nudge all the pieces into place.
Okay, yeah.
It's physics-based. So, as a little physics puzzle, it's a little bit, because it seems really simple at first, but you've got to worry about the physics of things moving in space. There's little other cosmonauts around which you can kill. Yeah. Try not to do that. But also, there's just a puzzle of the thing that was really weird. So there's 3 missions in the demo. First mission's like, whatever, piece of piss, whatever. Second mission comes up and go like, how does this one go together? Because there's a few points that lock together. I'm like, okay, well, and they're color coded, but they might have multiple of the same color. So there might be 4 red ports. It's like, well, 2 go together. I'll put this red down here. Okay, locked into place. I went, oh fuck no, that one doesn't go there. There's literally no way to deassemble it. I'm like, I'll just hit escape.
Paul, what if you could somehow rewind time?
Yeah. So I go, I'll just restart level. Yeah. No restart level?
Oh, really? You just deal with it?
I go like, oh shit, this is where, see what else can I put together. So this level, during it, so you're above the earth. And okay, so the tone of this game is very silly. It has almost like South Park Canadian style talking heads, flap, but in 3D. And very self-aware, like they know they're in the demo and everything. And in the background, everyone on Earth starts firing nukes at each other. So you're trying to put together this station that you're going to survive on, but you fucked it up, and all these nukes are flying around, and you'll start falling towards the Earth because you can't maintain altitude because you're not a functional space station. So it's getting bigger, and all this, it's like, that's all just background, and everyone's like yelling at you over the radio, and I'm like, I can't fucking do it! So everyone dies, the thing's totally fucked. I don't get any extra potato rations, and I lose some because everything's mentioned in potato rations. I don't know if it's that racist. Maybe it is.
No, it's not. I've been watching Space Force.
Yeah. And
they had an episode where they was all eating potatoes in space. I think it's just a space thing.
No, this was definitely a Russian thing.
Oh, okay, then it's racist, yes.
So, okay, oh, well, I guess I'll redo that mission. Nope.
Oh, you deal with it.
Story just kept going.
Oh.
No, it's just a demo. I don't know if it's going to be indicative of the latest thing. Because they're going, oh, well, that's the end of the demo. Oh, except for, no, this next level, mission is very good. And I fucked that one up too. But that one, because I knew what I was doing then, I was just like, at the last seconds as we were about to crash, I'm like, just trying to nudge it into place, but like a satellite was caught. And like, it's a little bit fiddly, but it is, like, it's a good challenge, and it's a cute little game, and it was quite funny from what I played. It really sold me on that second level where I was just screwed and the world's being destroyed. It's like they're just yelling, "What are you doing?" You're like, "I fucked up. I can't fix it. I can't make the round peg go into the square hole. I messed up." So that was Kosmokrats. I think it's a cute little game.
Oh, I played an interesting little one. Chinatown Detective Agency.
I played it too, and I wouldn't call it an interesting one. But continue.
Okay. No, yes. No, I think you should say it's interesting. It has ideas.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
It does, but they didn't, I didn't know if it was broken for me or what.
So it's an adventure game.
Uh-huh.
It's Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, and it's a life sim.
Okay.
It's kind of all these things.
So the first, unless they've randomized clues, so the first clue I get is to meet at this tree at midnight.
Yes.
So I go to this tree, and I have to play a memory game for no reason.
Oh, the memory game's terrible.
Okay. So I play the memory game.
Yeah.
I wait at that tree. Midnight comes, and nothing happens. And then I just stop playing the game.
Oh, so you didn't meet the guy?
No one came to the tree at midnight.
Oh. Okay, well, my experience...
Is that someone comes to that tree at midnight?
I was told to go to meet some person at the tree, and I went to the...
Were they already there, or did you have to wait to midnight?
I think they were already there.
Oh, because I got there at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
and I had to sit around for 5 minutes waiting for it to get to 12.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just went in.
You didn't have to click on anything?
No, that was just there.
I think it's just broken for me.
Maybe, because it's been broken. So once you get past that guy...
what guy?
So this is... so you're playing this lady in Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of like... I swear the developer has to be from Singapore, or at least they know Singapore very well, because the kind of stuff they're talking about, the food and the BART and all this kind of stuff. Oh, sorry, the MRT, whatever, the subway system. It's all very authentic to what Singapore is. In the background, you can see the big ship thing and all that stuff. And yeah, so you're basically playing this kind of private investigator, and you kind of meet this guy, and then you start getting puzzles which actually require real world investigation.
Uh-huh.
So this is where I think it gets a bit more Carmen Sandiego.
So get some Wikipedia searches on the other screen.
Yeah, basically that kind of stuff. Which I don't know if I like or not.
I like those mechanics.
Yeah, it's okay. I think it's tricky because if the game's too popular, doing the search probably is going to give you the answer.
Yeah, well, you don't want to. You want to negative any mention of the game's name.
Yeah.
Just do it on Wikipedia and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's stick to Wikipedia. That's almost they should corner it off.
Just go to Wikipedia. Yeah. So yeah, you start solving these puzzles where it'll be we've found this person that's gone to some place. I can't remember. That's basically it was an old term for London was the answer. Mm-hmm. So I was like, they've gone to this place, and I go, oh, what is this place? And I go Google okay, that's what London used to be called. And where it gets a bit weird is you have money as a resource, and you have time as a resource. And if you decide that you go to London, then you have to actually book the ticket, make sure it's in the future.
Can you book one in the past?
Well, you can try, but it won't let you get it. And then it's
probably a good system.
Then it does this weird thing where it's well, in the demo we just will let you take it at any time, but in the full game you have to actually wait for that time. And I don't know what there is to do in the meantime.
Well, that's what I had when I was waiting for midnight. I'm like, how long? It's a minute a second. So I still have to wait
as long as you're not hungry.
What?
So they want. This is why I used the term interesting, Paul. So
is that speed or slow time?
So they wanted to have this concept of that you can do less the less energy you have. Uh-huh. So if you're low on energy, time will go faster.
Okay.
So what you want to do is go eat. So you go to the food court and you can pick out what you want to eat. Also napping. So you want to go back to your...
Where the fuck can you get food? I could only go to my place, the tree, or to a nightclub that also had a brothel next to it. And there was nothing interactable in any of those situations. Even go to there. I could click on the lady in the brothel and she's like, you don't want to be around in a place like this. I'm like, okay, but can I talk to you? Because I've got nothing else to do in this game.
No.
Okay.
So the first puzzle was quite simple. Second puzzle, it was here is a postage stamp, and had to try to figure out where it was from, and had to do some Googling and to try and find stuff. The puzzles were all right. The memory game was dumb. I hated it. Like, just don't do it. Like, no one wants to play memory in your game as a puzzle. But yeah, it's what I mean. Like, it's part Carmen Sandiego, part life sim, part adventure game. It's a weird combination.
Is there a way of making memory an interesting game?
No, I just think mechanics kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of a way you turn memory into a good game. The whole concept is just remember where the thing is.
Let's have Memory Fest.
Yeah, Memory Jam.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find ways to subvert it in an interesting way, but to keep the core mechanic of remember the tile is not interesting.
What if you have to get a match to fire your gun?
Even Half-Life Alyx had their dumb memory game.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
I mustn't have got to that part.
They got to some dumb memory games.
I need to. Why would you do it?
Yeah.
Why? Anyway, okay. So yeah, that's Chinatown.
Chinatown
Detective
Agency. Interesting one.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything else we really need to.
No, I mean the thing is, like what we were talking about earlier was that we've spoken of like
we've spoken probably about 20 games.
Yeah, and of the 900 that were up, there's other stuff here we could keep going, but
Yeah. And that's. I mean, I bet some of these demos don't turn off. I bet some of them are still around.
I'm pretty sure when I looked at my Steam list, there was a whole bunch I could keep playing.
Yeah. Which is good because demos can really help. And there's a few like bigger ones that we didn't play because I've played them previously, either at a show or on the previous thing. So we're missing not talking about them. I can't even think about what those be at the moment because I spoke about it before.
I feel like this one was too big.
Yeah. I like more staggered, but I also like I like it as an event because it gets people to play them. Because there are demos on Steam, and I don't normally give them much attention unless I just happen to see it when I'm there. And this was. We sat around for a few games, days primarily playing demos.
It was a lot of fun. I really liked just checking out the stuff, like low commitment, just going in, playing 20 minutes.
We were on the Discord posting pictures saying, hey, you see this one? This is cool.
Check out this one.
Sometimes I just posted pictures of ones that were pretty. I'm like, no, you don't need to play it, but it's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... Oh, God. I think I saw you played it as well. The demo for Raw Man, it wasn't actually part of the festival.
Oh,
the demo was out.
Oh, yeah, I did play the demo.
Yeah. So Raw Man got me very excited because Raw Man is, well, partly it's about ramen, but mostly it's about mostly naked men fighting each other, which seems fun. Oh, and it's like Splatoonish, you slide around like painting the world. Problems, the painting doesn't need to do anything. The mechanics of when you can slide or when you cannot, I do not understand. All I do know is that I played one multiplayer game and I was so dominating of everyone. Everyone else quit the server.
Oh, really?
I was over 100 points ahead of the next person.
Yeah. I just did the
training area.
The training, and I did not have fun time.
Aesthetically, I thought it was awesome.
It looked great.
Explaining what the fucking gameplay... And it has so many ideas of like, oh, we've got all these wacky weapons and everything, but that's obviously terrible compared to that. And when you play the actual game, the pickups are like Mario Kart. So you just roll over a thing and maybe you'll get a defensive weapon, or you'll get it, and it will automatically replace your attacking weapon if it is that. And it's like, so I can't strategically pick anything.
Yeah, there's no like trying to
capture. At least what I played was a capture the flag style thing. It's like, boy, you guys threw too many ideas in here. Just have naked men slapping each other and paint the world. Steal it from Splatoon.
Oh, I think we should talk about. What? If we're going to talk another one, the co-op game we played, the walking one.
Oh, Clumsy Rush.
Clumsy Rush.
Which is not a demo. I bought it for like 10 cents.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought it was a demo. But no. But Clumsy Rush was great.
So Clumsy Rush is literally a 2-button game. You've got move left foot, move right foot. You're a hippo?
Yeah, you're some kind of hippo.
The levels are randomly generated from, it seemed. And you're racing to the end, except you don't get to go across the finishing line unless you have the crown.
And oh lordy.
So we love a game with a crown.
I love a crown game. I could not get in a straight line no matter how many matches we played. I really struggled with the walking.
So you're racing along. You're trying to, if someone else has got the crown, you're trying to hit them. And that attack at least is a direct line thing, so you can use that to move forward, but not when you have a crown. And the amount of times that we just struggle to the end and then be fighting over a crown at the finish line, and the crown, when it's knocked off, can then run away.
Yeah, the legs, it runs.
It's so stupid, and it's so like I got good at running in a straight line, so I get the crown trying to turn around to the end, and I run, while James is trying
going backwards.
How do you go backwards? I found a way. Man, is it a
It's
stupid
game,
but boys, and that's like I like the little video games like that.
The tension is there's a line right there. I've got the crown, but I'm going at like a 90-degree angle to the line. I'm like, no, wrong way.
I absolutely. What I think I mentioned to you before. What out of all of these, how people are starting to have subscription services, I really want like a multiplayer service. Because most of these, like as I say, I probably spent 10 cents on that game because I that's what most of my small Switch stuff is. Like, go to the US store and say, "What's 2 cents today? I'll get this one." It's like, oh, anything under 50 cents is basically free. But the thing is, like, they don't sell a lot, but they are fun, and even like subscribing to something said like, oh, it's $15 for a weekend, and. Like this is maybe not the best long-term model, but for like our point in life, it's like, well, I do my big multiplayer nights if I'm lucky twice a year. I buy more games than we can actually even play.
So here's the problem, though.
Yeah.
Is that there's so many good games for 3 cents.
Well, yes, but I wouldn't. But then I've got a list full of games that I only ever play once, and I actually don't want them on my list for that much.
So what we do, Paul, is we pay to remove them.
Yes. I'd like you to clean my list up. Nintendo, if you could please fucking add folders already, that would be great. Because I've got like 200 games on the Switch, and I'd really like to cut that list down. Or give me a delete button for some of them. Jesus. Oh, wait. There is a game that we need to review, and we didn't do it last time because we hadn't do it, and we did play it. Aqualunges.
Oh, we did play Aqualunges.
Provided key. Oh, sorry, Aqualunges. Okay.
I know,
So I did not. We were given this for review, and I did not review it last time because, partly because of COVID and everything, I haven't had people around the house, and it is a local co-op game, local multiplayer game, and you can play it single player. But if If I talked about it single player, I would have said this game is trash and you'll never enjoy yourself. So do not buy it for single player. So I thought, let's not do that because I bet it's more fun multiplayer. And guess what's more fun multiplayer? A game called Aqualunges. So Aqualunges is you are.
It's like a diver.
You're a diver. I was just looking for a way to get around the word seaman. Because it's good. So yeah, you're a guy. You're people in a diving suit, and your goal is to go underwater to bury treasure.
Get treasure.
Yeah, well, it's not always underwater. Yeah, but yeah, you're going to get treasure normally from shipwrecks. Get the treasure, go back to your base. First person to a predetermined.
And if you're hit, you drop treasure.
Yep. And there are fishies going around which you can attack and can attack you. And also every level has a big monster on it, which can pursue you and try to stop you from doing your thing. Now, that's all pretty easy to do single player. Once multiplayer gets involved, you can have teams. And I think from what we played, 1v1 is still not optimal.
Yeah.
What you want is really 2 versus 2. Because someone can then defend.
From playing it, I could see the fun.
Yeah.
With 2v2.
Yes, we were still having fun with 1v1.
I was still jumping in the air, trying to dash to kind of shoot you, lunge at you.
James loves trying to trouble. Yeah. Except for then I realized how I could easily kill James. And one of the weird choices is that it does have lives.
Yes.
So if you use up all your lives, you can buy more lives. Except if you don't have any money, you can't do that.
If you're like James, who didn't care about the treasure and just wanted to kill Paul. I sat there at the spend 50 to respawn screen.
At a point of the game, it should have ended the round when you died, really. But I was still left playing the round and James was dead and just watching me.
I don't get the live thing. It should just be timed or hit a score.
Yeah, or death being another win condition.
You kill the team. Yeah.
And I kind of wish there were a few more win conditions, like if you kill the boss, it just sort of goes away for a little while and comes back. Maybe this is a big treasure dump or something like that. Like there's a real reward for doing it.
Yeah, I do like it when these kinds of things have different ways to win, so that you can be committing, trying to do one, but then you see the other person. What was that B game?
Killer Queen Black.
Yeah, where there's different ways to win.
Yeah. So it was one of the things. So the game is at the end. So it has different biomes, different big monsters that chase you.
Yeah. I liked how different the levels were as well.
Yeah.
There was going from the underwater one with the diving to the more deserty one with the oases and the turtle. Yeah, it was they felt pretty different.
Yeah. So while it's basic, I think if you do a 4-person thing, I mean, a lot of games become fun once you get 4 people in. But I do think that fighting over the treasure, because I remember on the first level you had a lot of treasure. Yeah. That's when we discover you drop it when I hit you. So like I only need a little bit of extra treasure. Yeah. So like I'm just gonna stick it from James. Yeah. And that's where the fun. And then the monster started chasing you, and like this is my time to shine. And those sort of emergent things come once you have a couple of systems in play there. So I thought that was very fun. But at the end of the day, it is a very bare bones package with a couple of very strange menu choices. So if you start the game, select your divers, go into the menu select. Then James accidentally hit the back button because we've been using 360 controls and we switched to Switch and they change over. It took you all the way back to the main menu.
You have to go through the whole thing again. It's
like, okay, a couple of strange things you can pick up there. But still, like, especially if you can, if it goes on discounting like that, it's a solid little.
I loved the little lunges when they were like completely packed with gold.
Yeah, it's cute. Like I like the look of the game a lot because I was actually quite excited. I saw the trailer a month ago or so. I was like, yeah, this looks like it'll be there, but it does feel like it could use a little bit more polish than that. But the core is quite fun, but only really if you can get the people to play it. Because the single player is not interesting enough to get into.
Yeah, because it was weird. It had what looked like an overworld.
Yeah,
which it looked like a single player thing,
and it is. You do 3 matches in each world, and then there's a boss fight.
Yeah,
but it's still the same boss that you've seen in the last 3 levels, and it's just that the win condition is killing the boss in that case. It'd be, as I say, it might be nice if that win condition was in a normal level and you had multiple to choose from. But maybe Aqualunges too. Because I think it's got legs. I like more, and if they get more in that Killer Queen sort of style, that'd be cool. Yeah. Anywho, I think that kind of brings us to the end, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Been a good long episode.
Yeah, well, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of demos there.
And we skipped a bunch too.
We skipped so
and
many.
That was only my top 20.
Yeah.
It had a lot more. Yeah. Didn't even... Oh, no, I won't say the words. Start talking about... That's a weird one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you for watching and listening to 8.5bit. You can visit our website, 8.5bit.com, and Twitter and Facebook. Please like and share anything like on that. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Click and punch anything you want.
Ring the bell. Got to ring the bell so you get the email.
Hey, Mix is dead.
Oh yeah, they've merged. It's now merged. They were devoured by Facebook Gaming.
Is that what happened?
It's been moved. So Ninja will now be on Facebook Gaming.
But that's just a separate deal, isn't it?
That's like the partner. So all the Mixer partners have been now moved over to Facebook Gaming.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, because they're like it's that and Twitch are the 2 big ones.
Yeah, but I mean, the reaction, everyone that I heard talk about Facebook Gaming having better stats, it's like, yeah, but that's only because their stats aren't real.
I don't know.
I didn't even know that.
I clicked the button to see what Facebook Gaming was, and it just looked like, I've actually been watching it more. Like when you look in Facebook, you can go to that video section now, and it just throws inane videos at you for your brain to just sort of absorb.
I have seen it. I haven't really absorbed it.
So sometimes I'll get stuck in the loop where it's like I'm just scrolling, getting like it was just like a gaming filtered version of that. I didn't see more like the Twitch style thing. Maybe it's there. I didn't see it.
I just can't believe they would be getting the views because there's a few things. One, we've never fucking seen it before.
Yeah,
and I have seen Mixer. I have used Mixer, and I don't even use any of this bit of still. And 2, kids don't use Facebook.
No. No, Facebook is the old person thing.
Yeah. It's for people that like boomer shooters.
Now they need boomer shooters on there.
Yeah, exactly. Get in there, send some.
So I don't know. Maybe now with Ninja's still relevant. I think he's still relevant.
Look, he was never relevant to us. So
yeah, but we're not relevant.
Yeah, but we can't know his relevancy because we don't understand the area he was relevant in to begin with. It's like asking me, is Taylor Swift more or less popular than previously? I don't know. I'm sure she's still some level of popularity. She's fine. She's doing her thing. But it just doesn't intersect with me. My knowledge is limited. She was in Cats. Did that help or hurt her career? I don't know. I liked it. But, again, I'm not a relevant demographic in any of this shit.
I like the idea of fans of Cats being just for their own demographic.
We are not to be trusted. You liked Cats, didn't you? Not
You're one of those Cats lovers, are you?
That's the first question they ask you when you go to jury duty.
Yeah.
Like, did you like cats?
Did you like cats?
You're excused, sir. It's not even ironic. I just I enjoy like the failed ambition and just like the loose.
You enjoy a railway cat, do you? Enjoy railway cat of the railway.
I didn't like railway cat.
Of the railway.
But I didn't like any of them. But I enjoyed the experience that they assembled in this all these systems like. I know we finished the show 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
but
we're
fine.
done. You can stop this. It's fine.
But Ubisoft.
Yes.
Ubisoft is incredible the way they take 7,000 developers from 62 teams and make a game out of it. And sometimes none of those teams talked and they still put something together. And that's Cats. It's a mishmash of all sorts of people doing all sorts of things and nobody knows what anyone else is doing and they released a product.
And then they patched it and...
And it's just it's the result of a broken system, and I like that.
It's like Cube.
I mean, you mean in the fiction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Not in the movie.
Yeah.
The actual in the fiction
I think
of
like,
Cube.
The movie's quite good. At
Yeah.
Cube.
No. It's just it's all the bits and pieces that came together.
Cats is Cube of the real world.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. We're through the looking glass. People. That's the smartest thing you've ever said, James.
And we should end on that note.
Okay. I'll catch you later, folks.
Thanks, everyone.